Welcome to Burning Daylight Sports with Matt McKinley, Eric Winkler, and Jake Rehnquist. Join us every Tuesday for betting lines, hot takes, and a whole lot of fun. Oh, all right. Welcome back. It was an interesting weekend of sports.
It really was.
Baseball has just kind of gone neck and neck. Like, not a whole lot of movement except for the Tigers. The Tigers are really making a push in the wild card spot, and I think they were a game and a half back of that third wild card spot. So, let me pull that. Look at that real quick. So we got Baltimore, Kansas City, and the Twins. Yeah, so looks like Detroit's 2 games back of the Twins right now, and that's for the third wild card spot. Baltimore,
they're game and a half back. It's showing.
Okay. And then so Baltimore Royals, Kansas City Royals, and then the Twins in the third spot with the Tigers hot on their heels. Mariners not far back either. It's a fun race, but the other race is Shohei to 50-50, and I think he gets it, honestly. He's got over 10 games left, and he just hit 48 tonight and hit a fucking moonshot too. So he's at 48-48, which has never been done. Like 47 had never been done. And he's just breaking his own records at this point, and it's fucking insane.
If he makes it to 50, he will have the Dodgers record for most home runs hit in a season.
Yeah.
Record is 49. He's tied with Adrian Beltre right now at 48. Sean Green is 49. If he hits 50, he's got not only the Dodgers all-time record for home runs in a season, but he has the only season, and he doesn't play defense. He's got the only season stealing 50 bags. I think the only person ahead of him in steals would be
the dude from the Reds, right?
Cruz. Yeah.
Cruz.
He's at like 68 or something like that, isn't he? So, I mean, and that's an insane amount of steals, but
64.
Like, if you give me a choice, I'll take Shohei 1,000 times out of 1,000 over Elly De La Cruz, and nothing against Elly De La Cruz, but Shohei just might be the best baseball player to ever live, and it's starting to look like there might not be a real close second, even. It's like, fuck, dude, that guy's so good.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is at 53 home runs, and Shohei is right behind him at 48. Shohei leads the NL.
Yeah. It's funny how Judge gets all the hype, and which, kind of deservedly so. The dude crushes bombs, but like, you just expect Shohei to do shit that he's doing, and even though nobody has ever done it, you're just like, sure, that guy can do it.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. One thing that showed, like, the big knock against him, at least this season, is he's only DH.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge is like a decent center fielder. That's
a
lot of extra value that you don't really talk about. But if Shohei's pitching, then that's just like a whole other aspect. That's
and he hasn't pitched.
Well.
He hasn't thrown a single pitch this year, so just wait till he does. And like, we were texting back and forth earlier today, and kind of the consensus is they probably put him at the back of the rotation so he doesn't blow out his arm, and because that's going to affect his swing too if he has to, if he's got elbow issues, and not as much, but still it's gonna affect it. I'd heard on another podcast somebody mention throwing him out at closer, which on paper seems like it might make some sense until if you dig into it too much. I mean, I'm sure there's some issues with the elbow there too, because you're you're only going one inning and you're just throwing gas the entire time, but it's
Yeah, I mean, if
one
you're
inning.
gonna expect him to go to one inning, I'm expecting him to go out there and throw like 102
Yeah.
15 times, and like
Yeah.
he's back in the same spot.
Yeah, so it's who knows? It's I really don't care. I just want to see him pitch. I want to see him pitch and hit in the same game. And I wish it wasn't for the Dodgers, but all those Japanese players, they like playing for the Dodgers, so that's just kind of outside of Ichiro, like all the kind of the big name Dodger players. I mean, Japanese players went to the Dodgers. That's kind of the.
Well, I mean, there's a few in New York.
There's a few.
I think a lot. I mean, it makes sense to stay on the West Coast.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it makes sense, but just Dodgers being on the NL West idea. But I guess on the good side of that, we get to see Shohei against our shitty team more than just about anybody, than most teams in baseball. So that's fun. I mean, he'll bury us every time, but that's all right. Still get to watch one of the all-time greats, if not the all-time great. I mean, it's insane. That guy. I think he might be Neo in the Matrix. He's just downloading shit as he goes, and
yeah, I mean, it's incredible that he's so good at pitching and hitting, which are a lot different. A lot different skill set, a lot different like physical skill set, but he seems to just do fine with everything they throw at him.
I know.
I was maybe a little surprised that you didn't see him out in the outfield at all this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume it's just to take some pressure off his healing elbow, but
yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. I just I wonder how many home runs do you think he ends up with?
Oh, I'm gonna say 52.
52. That's a pretty good number.
I mean, I might think 50 on the dot.
He hits 50 and then shuts it down for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. So they have they're finishing up a series with the Marlins, so they lost tonight. So they got two more at the Marlins, then they go to the Rockies.
He's got a series of the Rockies. I take it back.
Home against the Rockies.
Okay.
3-game set. Home against the Padres, and then at the Rockies to close out the season for.
If he's playing at Coors to end the season,
yeah, but I'm adding two more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buck wild here and say 55. Just let's go. Let's go.
I'd love to see it.
I would be. At this point, the Rockies are out of it. The Dodgers are gonna win the division. So fuck it, let's go. Go nuts, Shohei. Just pour it on. Like he should just steal every time steal around every time he's on base. Why not? I mean,
that's pretty much what Ellie De La Cruz does.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Like push for 60 steals and 55 home runs. Like let's fucking go. It'd be fun. We'll come back to baseball to close out the show, but college football. How'd we do picks wise? I
picked CSU to lose. I got that one right.
That's a solid pick.
Yeah, I think that's a solid pick going through the rest of the year too.
Yeah, they did not look great. I lost money on that. Just like I lost money on them last year because I bet them to get blown out by CU, and then I'm gonna stop betting on that game. I might bet on CSU sporadically, but I'm not betting that game for the foreseeable future. I don't think. Well, until next year, and then I'll get suckered back in, lose money again. But oh well. I think from my perspective, I saw Bama looks really good. They kicked the shit out of Wisconsin.
I was not expecting that. I thought
Yeah.
Wisconsin, at home was going to put up a much, especially after how Alabama looked in the first half against USF for the second year in a row.
Yeah.
USF has their number. But, I really expected Wisconsin. I didn't think Wisconsin was going to win, but
I thought it was going to be like a 2-score game.
they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. This is the first season they've been ranked outside the AP top 25 at the beginning of the season in like 12 years.
Yeah.
And I figured they had something to prove. And it looked like they had nothing to prove against Alabama. Looked like they were just another FCS or Group of 5 team that was getting paid to play Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't look good. I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but I saw some replays, and yeah, I don't know. Bama looks good again. It was kind of a question mark going into the season, but that doesn't seem like they've missed too much of a. I mean, they just kind of still right in stride. Texas rolled, played in UTSA.
They're number one. It's hard to see. It's hard not to be number one when both of your quarterbacks are in the top 10 of the Heisman watch.
Well, so do we know how injured or how bad that injury is? Or does it matter? Because Arch tore it up.
I don't know.
Does it matter? It
probably doesn't. Honestly,
is it affecting? Is it affecting his draft stock more than it's affecting their season? Because they stayed number one. Florida lost Jordan Travis last year and dropped 2 spots in the poll. Or Florida State did, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet you the calls for Arch Manning to stay in are going to get pretty loud there in Austin. But yeah, who knows? It's good to be Texas right now. They're looking pretty good going into like the heart of their schedule. Ole Miss,
he'll be back if not next week, in a couple weeks. Once it gets into the heart of their schedule. Texas next week has UL Monroe. So if he misses that game, it's only hurting his Heisman stock and his draft stock. It's not really hurting the team.
They're probably because they got the Oklahoma game and then like Bama maybe or something like that coming up. So
week 5, Texas has. Who does Texas have? I got to go switch my thing to the SEC. There's too many teams in the top 20. I think week 4, ULM, they have a bye week. Week 5. Week 6, they've got. No, that doesn't make sense. They must be having the 2 bye weeks. No, they've got Mississippi State week 5, and that's a Mississippi State squad who paid $1.2 million to lose to Toledo at home by multiple scores.
Oh,
so I'm on the CSU. I'm on the state hate train. All right. Mississippi State, Colorado State, Boise State. If you got a state in your name, I hate you.
Fair enough.
C State. All right. I'll go Wolfpack. But no, I think Texas is going to roll. If Quinn Ewers misses 1 week, 2 weeks, they've got a bye after ULM, or not after ULM, after Mississippi State. They've got a chance to really kind of let Arch get some playing time, settle in as a starter, get Quinn Ewers back, and start getting back to it.
So I just looked up here. I got for both Ewers and Manning are at plus 2,000 for Heisman. Kind of interesting.
No shit, they're tied in the Heisman odds, huh?
Well, Quinn Ewers went from first. He was at 500. His odds were at 500 up to 2,000. But there's still a chance. He comes back from this injury and continues to ball out. Texas, you know, I didn't
Oh
want
yeah,
to
he could be back there right away. It's just it depends if he misses games or not.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, you've got Arch Manning, and if he steps in, Arch Manning could finish starting 3 games and having 1,500, 1,200 odds to win the Heisman.
Well, just ask Alex Smith twice what having a really good backup behind you when you get hurt does. He fucker did nothing on his own and lost his starting job twice to Kaepernick and Mahomes. Like nothing that he did personally kicked him out of the starting job. He just got hurt.
Well, it was just what he couldn't do. And what
Yeah,
he
well, that's true.
Run and gun.
Yeah.
We talk about Alex Smith like he was, you know, a really good quarterback his whole career. He sucked for the first half of his career. And
yeah, there was some dark days for the Niners there for a little while. Like they were not good. That
defense held them together.
Yeah. But that team was not good until they got Harbaugh, and then they've been pretty stout ever since then. But going back to the Heisman, your boy Jackson Dart shot way up there. Ole Miss continues to roll.
Ole Miss has yet to allow a touchdown all season. 3 games they've played, they have not allowed a touchdown. Jackson Dart did throw his first pick, but that was also after throwing for a butt-fuck load of yards. They beat Wake Forest so soundly that Wake Forest bought out next year's game.
I heard about that.
Really?
I didn't know the details behind it, but I heard they just bowed out.
Yeah, and it sucks because at this point, it's really late. It's hard to find a Power 4 conference team or an independent who'd be willing to play because BYU's no longer floating around sucking and soaking. And
a lot of soaking.
Notre Dame is no longer who wants to play Notre Dame? Yeah, we'll play Notre Dame and we'll just whoop their ass, losing an NIU like that. So it's definitely hard on Ole Miss as a program. It causes problems because Wake Forest, outside of their 2 good seasons in the past 3-4 years, they have been a historically poor program.
Back when I still played video games and NCAA football, I used to pick Wake Forest because they sucked, and of course, then you'd make yourself, I was always a badass linebacker, because I wasn't big enough to be a linebacker in real life, but I was Wake Forest. It was like Wake Forest and Wyoming, and there was another. CSU was actually kind of decent at that time. Last time I bought that game, so I didn't start with them. They were too good. Wyoming, on the other hand, was garbage. And so it was like Wake Forest and Wyoming, and I think Idaho. I every now and then I'd run with Idaho.
You want to know a fun fact about Wyoming? Wyoming has more 10-win seasons than Ole Miss does.
No shit.
No shit. Wyoming has 4 10-win seasons. Ole Miss has 2021 and 2023. 2.
No shit.
That's really it.
Yeah, that's it.
Huh. I would have thought there'd be way more.
Historically good program, right? 8, 9 wins. But their first 10-win season came in 2021 with Matt Corral when they lost to Baylor in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. I was at that game. Don't remember it. We're losing to Baylor by a lot. And then 2022, they hit a roadblock. They finished 8-4. And then last year they went 11-2 with their 2 losses coming against Alabama and I want to say LSU.
LSU was just putting up video game numbers on offense last year, though. They couldn't stop anybody on defense, but that Jaden Daniels was just doing his thing. That was, Ole Miss is. We'll see when they start playing the SEC schedule how that shakes out, but they're looking pretty good right now. Missouri over Boston College. That looks like it was a pretty good game. I didn't get to watch it, but Missouri is going to be tough this year. Boston College. Who did? Oh, they beat Florida State, huh? That was why they got ranked. Were they deserving of a 24 ranking or?
I don't think so, but given where Florida State was still ranked, this was kind of before everybody kind of thought, okay, Georgia Tech won, but they didn't win at home. They didn't win away.
In Dublin,
they won in Ireland. All right. So we're going to give Florida State one more chance. And so that was when Florida State still had a shot. I think Boston College is not going to hold their ranking. They have a win over a top 25 team, but it does not, like at the end of the season, Florida State's going to be 4-8.
They look bad this year.
Well, that's because they're sticking behind DJ Ukulele. I don't know how to fucking throw a football.
Yeah, he did good at Oregon State when he didn't have to throw it all. When they just ran all the time, he was fine. But
I mean, if Missouri keeps rolling, like that that loss might not look quite as, but it was a close game.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like they played them, pretty tough. So it's, I don't know. I was just curious as if that was a legit ranking for Boston College because, yeah, like I said, pretty close game. So the next game was not Tennessee at Kent State.
Tennessee.
Did they call in the Tennessee National Guard for this one?
No, Kent State might have called in theirs.
Fuck, 71-0.
Yeah. Tennessee has yet to play an actual opponent. NC State did not look the part.
Yeah.
NC State and Wake Forest kind of looked the same. They did the same thing for Ole Miss and Tennessee. They were a Power 4 opponent who just was not up to scratch. NC State and Wake Forest might finish with winning records. They might finish pretty well. But it definitely that will show the strength of the SEC, or they'll suck and it'll show that they weren't good this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Going 9-3. We're going to steamroll. We're going to win out. We're going to go undefeated in the conference. We're going to smack Boise State around. We're going to make Colorado State's not going to want to exist after we're done with them down in Fort Collins. And then we're going to win the conference championship.
He's
we're
such a homer. He's such a homer.
No, in reality, I would be surprised if Wyoming finishes with a winning record.
Mountain West is looking like the good old Mountain West, just kind of a lot of mediocre.
And then UNLV and Boise State looking really, really good.
Yeah, UNLV, that were they good last year? I don't recall.
They were all right.
Because it seems like that kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know, but apparently Colorado State's going to the Pac-12 in 2026, I think.
Yeah.
The 6-pack.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not 12, though. It's
no.
They're trying to draw over Wyoming. They're trying to get Wyoming to come over. I think Utah State was already on that list. Really, it's going to be Boise State, Oregon State, and Washington State being the only good teams in that conference, unless like Wyoming and a couple of other teams come over and it might balance out. But
I don't know. But yeah, so the Pac-2 screwed me over this week. This was the other college football game I bet on, and since it was in Corvallis, and Corvallis is a pretty tough place to play, I picked Oregon State to cover, and then I sprinkled Oregon State to win because it was like plus 560 or something like that, and I was like, traditionally that's not a bad bet. It doesn't always hit, but that's not a bad bet. It was a bad bet this year. It did not hit at all. Nothing about that bet hit. I think it was like a 14-point spread or 16 maybe, and so I was like, yeah, Oregon State might give them a run. I didn't really expect them to win, but I wouldn't have been real shocked if they had. And apparently Oregon figured out what the fuck they were doing.
Oregon did not look good for that first 25 minutes of that game, and then kind of gets down, and They're up by 8 going into the half, 22-14, and it was just lights out.
Yeah.
They flipped a switch. That's the Oregon we expected against Idaho, against Boise State, and apparently they only play up.
I guess so. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because they're Big Ten now, and Big Ten's got better defense than the Pac-12 has. So that'll be interesting. But it looks like maybe they're kind of waking up a little bit. Apparently that kid down at Miami is good. Hung 62 on Ball State, 62-0. Miami for real, or I hear that quarterback's really good, but
Cam Ward is a good quarterback. He looks legitimate.
How's Miami gonna fare? I mean, who do they got to beat in the ACC? Clemson.
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Huh? And Clemson's not particularly good this year, are they?
Nope. Clemson right now is sitting at 2-1, I think. 1-1. They had their bye week last week.
Well, and Dabo Swinney is not buying into the NIL stuff at all.
No, and the transfer portal either. And honest, I respect it, but at what point is that going to hurt your team more than it's going to help you? You might not do the transfer portal. You might be Clemson. You might be getting the best high school recruits, but then you're stuck with someone like DJ Ukulele at quarterback, and he's only there because that's where he started.
Yeah,
he went back to Clemson. That's the only reason Dabo let him back.
It's like those guys that hung on running the wishbone way past when they should have.
Yeah, well, like Army.
Well,
and Navy.
That's just because they literally don't have the size to run a traditional offense in college.
You can't recruit a 400-pound lineman because he doesn't pass PT requirements.
Yeah, he's too big for the military, so he
height and weight.
Yeah, so you gotta run option just because you don't have the size to run a traditional style offense. And Utah State 38-21. Utah seems like they're pretty good again. They're always pretty salty.
Yeah.
That quarterback, how long has that quarterback been around? He's been around for like 10 years.
I'm 24 years old. I have dropped out of college. I played D1 sports, dropped out of college, went to the Army, retired from the Army, went back to school for a year and a half. And this man graduated high school before me, and he's still playing quarterback. And I've had a whole career. I've done a lot more than a lot of people have in their entire lives, and this man is still playing quarterback at Utah.
Is he a Mormon? Because if he's a Mormon, he also probably had his mission in there too. So that's 2 years.
Let's see. Cam Rising. Well, he had the COVID year and he got injured, so he had a medical red shirt.
I see.
He's got a psychology and criminology. He's coming out being a doctor. He's be like on Criminal Minds.
There you go. Well, you may have jumped out of an airplane, but I bet he soaked a few girls.
Oh, I'm sure he has. That's more than I can say. I've never soaked anybody. I don't want to.
Oklahoma State at Tulsa. Okie State rolled. That seems like they're way overranked at 13. From what I've seen them play, they haven't looked that great. Tulane's kind of got the gauntlet here early on in the season.
K-State, Oklahoma away. Yeah. I think if they had held on against K-State and ended up winning that game, which they lost kind of unluckily.
Yeah.
But if they had held on and won, I think they would have been ranked going into Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma did not beat them by much.
No, that's not a That's not a blowout. And as far as college goes, NFL that'd be a blowout, but not in college. LSU squeaked it out over South Carolina. Missed the game tying field goal. Oh shit. Michigan at Arkansas State. Is Michigan not that good this year?
Not that good.
I think they're gonna start Alex Orji, their backup. Davis Warren threw 3 picks to Arkansas.
Is that a real name? His last name's Orji.
ORJI. I can't imagine that he was really thrilled coming out of the
Probably
womb.
not.
That was his name.
Is that like Swedish or something?
I think it's African. I would say it's probably like Nigerian. Is what I guess.
It's Orge from the fjord. Thanks, Jake. That was bad, but you gotta try. Notre Dame. How bad is Purdue that Notre Dame hung 66 on them? And then Nebraska. Boy, there's a lot of noise from the Husker faithful here this year. They're really starting to sound like Cowboys fans. This is our year. This is our coach. We got him. I want them to get really close to like being in playoff consideration and then just choke on a big old dick against somebody not good at all.
Just like Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do they play? Let's go see. Week 4. Nebraska's ranked 24. So they've got Illinois, who's ranked, and Nebraska's 22. Illinois is 24. That could be a big game. I think that they lose to Rutgers in a couple.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
I think they lose. Rutgers is 2-0, but
even better. Saturday, November 2nd at UCLA, or home against UCLA, and UCLA's dog shit this year. That would be so funny. It just there's certain groups of fans that, like, I have really nothing against Nebraska, the team. It's just their fans, and I don't really have anything against their fans, but it brings me a lot of joy to see their just all of the wind sucked out of their sail. Just see the devastation of the state of Nebraska. They got nothing else. They have nothing else except the Huskers. And then when the Huskers choke on a big old dick, it gives me so much joy.
I got a job offer in Nebraska out of college, and I went out there for an interview. And I declined the second interview, like, on the spot. I'm like, I can't do it. Cannot do
it. Nebraska. It
was terrible.
It's not great. I've visited out there, and I had an okay time, but yeah, I'm just it brings me a lot of joy to see the Husker fans just have their season wrecked. And yeah, let's go with that. So upcoming week, we got Illinois at Nebraska, number 24 at number 22. Nebraska -7, over under at 42.5. I haven't seen either one of these teams, but is it too early to? I kind of want Nebraska to win this one just to keep the hype train building.
Just let it go.
Yeah, so the crash is more spectacular at the end of the season.
I agree, but from a pure college football standpoint, I really like this Illinois team. I like their coach. He's, they talked about him being one of the best top 10 coaches in all of college football, and this is second year, just like Matt Rule, and he's brought Illinois to be good. But I think an Illinois loss to a higher ranked Nebraska team, if they were to go 11-1, 10-2, and their 1 or 2 losses came against, Nebraska, and then Nebraska went and shit the bed, goes 9-3, 8-4 to finish out the season. I can live with that, as long as I want Illinois to be good, I want Nebraska to be bad. I hate Nebraska.
I just want Nebraska to be at the peak of their hype when that balloon gets popped. Like I want it to be a spectacular crash. So
I'd love it for Iowa to spoil their season at the end.
Oh, there we go. I would be another good one. Yeah, so I'd probably take Illinois with the points. I don't know if I'd pick them to win outright, but maybe to cover.
7.5, sure.
Yeah.
Not bad.
42.5. I don't. It seems low. Seems low for college. But I don't know. Yeah, I think I think I might take Illinois with the points. It'd be good for college football and also good for the spectacular crash at the end, for it to be a close game and Nebraska and Illinois to have to be in the conversation all the way to the end, and then Iowa or UCLA or just somebody that Nebraska isn't supposed to lose to and just get blown out. I mean, Iowa's not going to blow them out, but they might shut them out, They might shut them out.
They'll beat them like 18-0.
Yeah.
There you go.
It might be like the Broncos game against the Seahawks. They might win 12-0, and all 12 points came on 6 safeties.
Yeah, no shit. It seems like it's a 2-touchdown game, but there wasn't a touchdown scored at all.
Last year, was it Illinois, Nebraska, where the final score was 9-6, and there were more punts in that game than any other game in college football history?
I forget who they played, but I know it was Iowa. Somebody. It was like 9-6 for the. I think the Broncos and the Steelers both last year had a lot of 13-10 games or 13-3. Broncos were fun to bet on last year because they always covered. They didn't win hardly at all, but the defense was nasty enough where they would if you bet the under, if you parlayed the under with Broncos to cover, that was a pretty good bet every week. Ohio State at Marshall. I hear Ohio State looks really good.
So heard. Heard winning this one.
40.5 minus 40.5 for Ohio State. And 51.5 for the over. So they're looking at like a 40-12 game, essentially. That's it's a big spread. I would not bet that. I will not bet that.
I might.
you betting? You taking OSU or you taking Marshall to cover?
OSU.
That's probably a safer bet, I'd think. NC State at Clemson.
This is a make it break it game for NC State.
Okay.
If NC State can win against Clemson and really win against Clemson in South Carolina at Clemson, it shows that Tennessee is just that good, and that they're a legit contender in the ACC. I just don't think Clemson is that great.
They haven't seemed that way. I don't know. I don't trust NC State at all, but
not after that. What is it? 62-10.
Yeah,
thromping.
Yeah. Spreads minus 20 Clemson. I mean, if NC State's got anything in the tank, you might throw NC State with the points. I don't know. I don't trust Clemson, but I don't I don't trust NC State more, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they only beat Louisiana Tech by 10, 20 to 30 to 20 this past weekend. And they lost 51 to 10. I mean, they barely would have outscored Tennessee by 17 points, excluding their 10 points they scored against Tennessee in their other games. And those were against Western Carolina and La Tech.
Oof.
I don't know. Clemson had a pretty resounding win against App State, who is a giant killer.
Yeah, they've knocked off some. They're D1 now, right? App State.
Oh yeah, no. So they're D1 now. They play in the Sun Belt. A couple years ago, they beat Texas and then lost to Wyoming because
that's right. I remember that.
You know, and by I think it's like Einstein's law of relativity or something that made Wyoming better than Texas that year. Right?
I mean,
I think so.
Ipso facto.
Glory days with Coach Bowl.
Iowa State, Arkansas State, Iowa State. Iowa State's number 20, huh? Spreads Iowa State minus 22, over under at 51.5. I don't know anything about either of those teams. I'm not betting that. Kent State at Penn State. Are they going to bring the National Guard out for this one too? Because Kent State got butt raped last week.
Another option.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be kind of funny if everybody at Penn State just showed up with flowers that they could stick in the end of a gun barrel. And but yeah, the spread's at 48.5, over unders at 56.5. I might throw Penn State to cover that. Just based
I don't know.
on
That Penn State team almost lost to Bowling Green.
That's true. I don't know, man. It's I can't imagine Kent State having a whole lot of momentum coming off a 71-0 loss.
Yeah, at Tennessee, and then they're going from Knoxville
to State College.
State,
yeah,
to State College. I mean, two of the most unfriendly, albeit in different facets, environments to play football.
Yeah,
as the opposing team.
I'd like to go to a game at Penn State one of these days. It seems like a cool place to watch a college football game. USC at Michigan, that could be a good game. USC looks pretty good this year.
That guy, is it Sharon, who's their defensive coordinator now?
I don't know his name, but yeah, it seems like he made a big difference there because they couldn't stop anybody last year.
No, and he is really showing that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, because
they went from a shootout team to a shutdown team.
Yeah, and I don't know much about. So Michigan's got the Alex Orji dude going this week. Spreads USC minus 5.5, over unders at 46.5. I hate betting on USC. I'm just not a fan of USC in general. But I kind of like that line. I might take USC to cover.
USC has historically been pretty good in the last 3 Rose Bowl meetings that they've had Michigan. They've beaten them at least twice. I only say that because I've got SportsCenter on. They've shown 2 wins for USC, not the third yet. Once they show the third, oh, there we go. They've beaten them 3 times in the Rose Bowl.
Oh shit! All right, well, I mean, it doesn't hurt for recruiting that you're based out of LA. I mean,
no.
It doesn't hurt the recruiting.
The only hotter girls in the country are in Oxford, Mississippi. So
Arizona State's pretty good too.
Yeah, but it's got a state in the name. Remember what I said, Matt? About the states?
I'm a fan of the state schools. I'm
Yeah,
an
well,
ag.
that state school beat us 48-7, so I really hate that one.
I was just at Texas. It was nice down there.
Yeah, I imagine it is too. I tell you, it's another state school because you don't, and since you don't like them, but Okie State is.
That's the one good one. You know why?
Why is that?
Because they let us steal their mascot. This defeat started Oklahoma like 30 years before Wyoming adopted him.
Yeah, they have some pretty elite talent down there, and they're dumb because it's Oklahoma State. It's Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Well,
but they're hot.
I'm thinking OSU makes a run this year, and you know those girls down in Okie State, they're pretty nice.
They're very friendly. UCLA at LSU. LSU's minus 24 on the spread. That's I'm not gonna pay attention to that game whatsoever. Same with the next one, Miami of Ohio at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's minus 28.5. Georgia Tech at Louisville. That could be is Georgia Tech legit? Are they a legit good team, or did they just run into a really shitty Florida State team?
I think they're a legit good team. Are they a great team? No. Are they going to finish 9-3, 8-4 in the ACC and cause some problems for teams like Louisville and Clemson? Absolutely.
So take the points.
I say take the points. Louisville has put up points. Louisville has been good. They have been dominant on offense. Their defense hasn't really been tested. And Georgia Tech went up against a defense that wasn't as hurt as the offense in Florida State, and they showed that they could play.
All right. Well,
so I think the points. I'd still take Louisville if you're just betting the under or whatever. If you're betting the spread, take Louisville. But Georgia Tech is going to put up some. It might be another 33-30 game, 27-24, but it's going to be a fight.
So yeah, the spread's at 10.5. I like Georgia Tech with the points there. And then over unders at 57.5. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably stay away from that on that. Be interesting. I was shocked at how bad Florida State was this year.
I'm not. It's Florida State. They're starting DJ Ugalele.
That's true. That is true.
How do you say his name? It's Uyungale.
I don't know.
The weirdest, and it's that Pacific Islander where there's ends where there's no ends and stuff. But
it reminds me of Harold and Kumar. Kumar, how do you spell that with 3 U's and 2 R's? And it's almost exactly the same as ukulele, except it's 3 U's and 4 K's and a couple L's thrown in there as well. That sound like G's for whatever reason. That's like Tua. Is it like they pronounce it Tonga Bailoa and there's no N in his name at all? I don't know. I'm a white boy, so I don't understand any of that.
I'm learning how to speak Arapaho right now.
Oh yeah,
and let me tell you, in their alphabet, there is the number 3. That is a letter in the alphabet.
Well, I'm learning Japanese, so.
Oh yeah,
they got a whole different alphabet. Several of them.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna run the bathroom real quick. I'll be back.
Sounds good. Northern Illinois at Buffalo. I got no idea. Utah at Okie State. That could be a good game. Utah's -2.
That's -2 is not even worth it.
No, I
54.5. I don't know. I'd have to look at them, but I'd probably take the over on that one.
I think so, and yeah, I think Utah covers that. From what I've seen of Oklahoma State, they haven't impressed me much of anything this year, and Utah's always stout. They're always like a good team. Yeah, I'll look at that one. I might have to go back and look at their previous scores, but I like the over. Definitely like Utah -2. Vandy at Missouri. Who cares? Mizzou -20.5. Over under at 53.5. Don't care. That's a nothing game.
I'm not watching it. I'm not betting it.
Yeah. Miami at South Florida. That could be interesting. South Florida gives good teams a hard time every now and then. Spreads at 16.5
seems a little low.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a little bit of something on there.
Okay. 65.5 for over under.
That's pretty big too.
That is a lot of points, it seems like, but Miami's been putting up a shitload of points too.
Yeah,
so.
You're right.
Yeah, that's another one where that might be an interesting game to tune into for a minute. I don't know if I put any money on that. Tennessee at Oklahoma will be interesting. Both of those teams could be good, but I'm not real sold on either one of them. Spreads -7 Tennessee, 57.5 over under. Oklahoma's a tough place to play, and it seems like they've got a pretty decent team. They always do. I might take that in the teaser, bump the spread up to like 14, and take Oklahoma.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to go with it. Otherwise, I don't know enough about either team to really.
I don't either. I think that's a teaser bet for me. Bowling Green at A&M. Who cares?
I don't know. I might take that. I might A&M
23.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bowling Green
just a completely flogged Bowling Green.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not messing with that. Georgia Southern at Ole Miss. Probably take Ole Miss to cover there, -35.
Yeah, sorry, Georgia, but yeah, that's happening.
Lane Kiffin's on one right now. They're dumping out the points. So,
well, just wait.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now they're pouring on, but we'll see. UL Monroe at Texas, -44.5, and over under at 52.5 is that's a lot of points.
So yeah, you think UL Monroe is worse than CSU, or slightly better? I guess I don't know.
I can't imagine they're much worse.
Fair enough.
44.5. I mean, yeah. What they beat us 52-0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they really stopped trying after about 5 minutes into the second.
Yeah. Those are some big old boys on in the trenches for Texas. I mean,
yeah.
So big motherfuckers. God damn, they got their offensive line is just massive. The defensive line is huge too. They're just yeah.
I saw a weird stat that Arch's top speed was better than Tyreek Hill's. top speed for the season.
No shit.
Yeah,
That's insane to think.
I
Because
didn't know Mannings could run.
no, I heard somewhere. I guess it was on McAfee's show or something, but Peyton was on. And he was talking about how Arch got the athletic ability that Archie Manning had, because Peyton and Eli were
immobile.
I mean, there was that one play when the Broncos won with Peyton where he had to run for a first down, and I think the entire state of Colorado was like, "Oh my god, fuck!" It's so slow.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever, it's just a weird stat.
That's crazy. That 44.5 is a lot of points, but they'll probably cover. I mean, that Texas looked dominant everywhere so far this year. So,
yep.
K-State at BYU. That should be a pretty decent game. BYU's a pretty tough place to play. 6.5 is the spread. K-State 48.5 is the over/under. K-State ought to cover that, I'd think. I mean, BYU is a pretty tough place to play.
Yeah, but 6.5.
Yeah, and K-State looks pretty good this year. Like they look really good this year. So I think I'd take K-State to cover.
Yeah, I might put a little something on K-State just for a reason to watch that game.
Yeah, and then and you can make Mormon jokes, and that's always fun. Always fun. All right, switching on over to the NFL. It's a good thing I didn't bet very many individual games. I made a couple different parlay bets, and then I only made a handful, and I did pretty good on my individual bets. Didn't hit any of the parlays, but like the Cowboys sucked. The Niners sucked. And there was another big one that I was like, where the fuck did that come from? But
honestly, I didn't watch a ton. Did a weird time for the baseball game at like noon. I forgot to get my bets in before the early games.
Oh fuck!
And then I wasn't home in time to really do some for the late games. So I did some like just in-game betting. Some of it turned out okay. I got a couple of parlays in for the second that did not work out, but whatever.
The Bills maybe killed Tua.
Yeah. Is he done? What?
I don't know.
They keep saying no, but
I kind of hope so. And it's nothing against the guy because he's kind of fun to. He's actually a lot of fun to watch when he's on the field.
He's done some good things for my fantasy team.
And then, I'm just tired of seeing him almost die. It's like he had last year without any incident, and then, it did not look good.
He's really got it.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
gonna be in rough shape if he keeps taking hits like that.
I mean, yeah,
like for the rest of his life, Like,
I mean, take a look at Muhammad Ali. Take a look at what he sounded like.
Chris Benoit.
Yeah, he murdered his wife and kids. I mean, I guess at least Junior Seau didn't take out his family, but he was. Ooh, yeah. Let's probably better hang it up, Tua. I hate to say it. Not that I don't want him to be gone, but I kind of want him to stop playing so he doesn't die on the field. Bills rolled. They look good. Dolphins are kind of fucked. They I don't know. They could probably still make the playoffs. They got a lot of talent, but What is it with Miami teams? They're always soft. It seems like.
Yeah, they're a flashy team. Well, at least recently. It's been a
Yeah,
while. Been a while since they've had nice big running back to help them out. It's a bunch of speed.
yeah. It's Oh, Eric, how long do you think until we see a fatality on the NFL field, and that fatality being Tua?
Oh, next week. Look, we mentioned earlier, I fell out of a plane. I have been hit by a falling support beam. I've been stomped by a bull. I have been kicked in the head by a horse. And I honestly don't think I've had as many concussions or bad TBIs as Tua Tagovailoa has.
Oh, I mean, I've had some concussions in my day.
Dude's got a weak.
Oh, I've had some too, but the other thing is like when I at least personally, like now it's a whole lot easier for me to get concussion than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So if it keeps getting easier and easier, some softer and softer hits are gonna mess them up.
Well, just look at fighters too. The guys that get knocked out once or twice, and then next thing you know, their jaws is just glass. I mean, Donald Cerrone is like a perfect example. Just dude was a warrior for most of his career, and then just became just a soup can at the end. Where I mean, he when they start going downhill, like you said, those concussions come real easy. And worse too, not just
absolutely.
But I won money on this. I picked the Bills to cover.
Nice.
And I think I started out the week pretty hot, and then immediately lost with the Cowboys.
That's why'd you put money on the Cowboys?
Because I'm going with the Nebraska route. I want that hype to build all season and then to come crashing down in a spectacular fashion.
Also, it's Derek Carr, which outside of the last two games is not very good.
No, and he Chris Olave did a little bit better this week, which is good for my fantasy team, but still they put up 44 points, and Olave didn't find the end zone again this week.
Course.
So I'm just like, who the fuck is getting all these touchdowns around there? Like, Olave is a really good receiver. How has he not found the end zone yet? They put up 47 last week. They put up 44 this week.
I've got a pretty key stat right there. Alvin Kamara with 20 carries for 3 tutties and 115 yards. That's just on the ground. I'm pretty sure he had a receiving one too.
I think he had two rushing and 1 receiving, if I remember right.
That's right. Yeah, it was.
Well, there's all your points.
Yep, pretty much.
It's a big workload for him too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because he's not like a workhorse type bat. No,
he's a 10 to 15 rushes, maybe 10 pitches.
Yeah, he's like a slasher type. He's he's fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah, he had 4 touchdowns. He had 1 receiving, 3 on the ground.
God damn, somebody had a good day fantasy football wise.
He had 115 yards on the ground and 65 through the air. That's just Alvin Kamara. Counts for 4 touchdowns, 28 points for the Saints, which doesn't leave much for Chris Olave and everybody else.
No, not much. Buccaneers go into Detroit, take home the W. Let Baker bake. I won money on this game too.
I like Baker Mayfield. I thought Cleveland made a big mistake there.
I took the Lions.
It wasn't a bad bet.
Like me.
I'm a Packers fan.
Oh, go Pack, go! I actually repainted my Packers helmet and made it a Wyoming helmet, so it's no longer a Packers helmet. But I'm a go Pack, go! What do you think about Malik Willis and replacing Jordan Love here?
So you missed it. I didn't really watch any of the games, so I didn't really get to see. I saw some highlights. I saw the highlight where his center threw up on the ball and he didn't really know what to do and just took off running.
He's like, I'm not throwing this. Everybody was puking this weekend. Someone put together a highlight reel of week 2 pukers, and there were like 6 different teams where people were just puking on the field.
That's crazy.
Something must have been going around last week.
It had to have been.
Everybody was sick. Maybe they ate at the same place I ate in Fort Collins.
Maybe so.
Gave me food poisoning.
Freaking Baker Mayfield, though. I'm glad he's out of Cleveland because dude's a gamer, and Cleveland and Chicago's where quarterbacks go to die. So
I think he could have brought Cleveland out of that. I mean, he brought them their first playoff win in what, 4 decades?
Yeah, but if we've learned anything, is like nobody can pull Cleveland out of that shit.
Someone's gonna have to.
I mean, I guess LeBron got he just got the one at Cleveland.
No, I think he got 2.
Got 2? Okay.
So yeah, he had 1 before he went to the Heat, right? Or he had 1 appearance before he went to the Heat.
Oh, I think he just had he might have just had appearances.
He had an appearance before he went to the Heat. He
got one there.
With the Heat, 2 with the Cavs, and then I think that's right. I think he's only got 4.
1 with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It came up in an argument. He's got 4.
1 Heat, 1
10 NBA Finals appearances with 8 consecutive between 2011 and 2018. So that was when he was last year with the Heat through the Lakers.
First the Lakers.
Yeah, he won in 2020. Can you count the 2020 season?
Well, if you ask the Dodgers fan, you can.
Did they play long through there? I was in basic. I wasn't paying attention to football.
No, but it was fun.
Basketball.
They had the bubble. It was fun.
I didn't watch any of it, but yeah. Are the Lions? Are they still good? I think
yeah, probably, but it didn't look good this week from the highlights I saw. I was at the baseball game during it, and usually when the Lions are playing, they'll put up they'll put up the score in the Tiger Stadium. They did not do that all game.
That's funny. Who's the edge rusher? Hutchison, is that his name?
Yeah.
He was looking to like he was going to be a game wrecker. He had 3 sacks in the first quarter, and then they fixed that, and I don't think he ever got to him again after that. Yeah, and then Tampa's defense looks really good too. Tampa's going to be a problem for a lot of people this year. They look pretty good. Packers at the Colts. Packers pull it out. Jacobs is a horse. 150 yards on 32 carries. They're just going to ride that donkey all year, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
I do too.
Especially with Love missing 4 to 6. It's nice to have a workhorse back.
Well, and he's the type that if he doesn't get 20 carries, like he's not having that good of a game. Like you got to feed that dude.
And the more you give it to him, like the better he gets too.
Yeah, well, and he's just he's a tank. I've got him on my fantasy league, and fuck yeah, just hand that boy the ball. He's that's old school Packers football too. Just fucking hammer it down your throat.
I mean, they ran for 261 yards total that game.
Oh wow! Who had the rest of the yards?
They ran it down their throats. The other rushers for the Packers,
we had Willis had 41, Jalen Reed had 37.
I mean, they handed the ball off to a decent amount of other running backs. I'm just surprised that Josh Jacobs 151 yards, didn't find the end zone.
Nope.
Nobody had a rushing touchdown, and they ran for 261 yards.
Yeah, that is disappointing.
Yeah. Malik Willis, 12 of 14 for 122 yards and a touchdown.
That's a really good completion percentage, though.
That is excellent game manager stuff right there.
Fair enough.
Yards. When you rush for 260, I guess you don't have to throw for a lot.
No,
but 22 yards is
man. If you can get by with that from your quarterback, you are. I mean, that's a good place to be.
If you look, he didn't throw a pick. Anthony Richardson threw 3.
Yep.
You know, and that's what happens when you're playing from behind. Is you start throwing the ball exclusively. You start throwing picks. You start making bad decisions, trying to make the right one. And Anthony Richardson, it's his rookie. It's really his rookie season.
Yeah,
he had
what, second half of it, right?
Last year, and that was it. So he's still really kind of fresh. He's green.
Well, and he hasn't really played a ton of football in general, though, has he?
17 starts since high school.
Jesus,
17.
Yeah.
17 starts since high school, and he is the starting quarterback for an NFL team.
He's just hurt all the time.
Yeah, he did not get the chance to start a lot at Florida because he was so hurt all the time. But if you look at the game film, outside of the picks, which came not in garbage time, but later in the game when they were down, he's got the arm strength and he's got the ability to see the field really well. It's when you start throwing, he had 34 attempts. 17 at 34. He threw 50% completion. You're not going to win having your quarterback just hurl the ball downfield and hoping it works. I can attest.
You also have Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, you've got a good running back. He only had 12 carries. He did pick up 103 yards, though. He was efficient on the ground.
And they 12 carries. Just
keep running them.
Yeah,
hand that dude the ball until they can stop him, and then try something else. But until they can stop you on the ground, fucking hammer the ball at him. Just that's I feel like we could be coaches a lot of times where he's just like, what are you doing? Run the fucking ball. Just run the ball.
You're down by a score.
Yeah.
You're down by a score. All right. You got 5 minutes left. Your guy's averaging 8.6 yards per carry. Run the ball.
Yeah.
Run it down their throats.
Or just
throw some play action. I mean, you look at how Peyton Manning
run a draw. Run a draw. Like they expect you to throw it, run a draw. That's
something.
Boy Cook, man.
And especially when you got a guy like Jonathan Taylor, which again, just feed him. The dude gets stronger the more carries he gets.
He's like Derrick Henry.
Jacobs, and Jonathan Taylor are very similar in that way. Just feed him. Marshawn Lynch was the same way. Just feed him.
J.K. Dobbins for the Chargers is looking a lot like that.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's looking good. I gotta step out and take a leak real quick, but we got Jets Titans on the next game. I'll be back to talk about Rodgers.
Jake, what do you think about the second game-ending interception in a row for Will Levis?
I didn't watch it, but that's unfortunate. Oh, I did see that. I saw the replay of that.
It was like,
what was he doing?
I don't know. He belongs. He belongs to the Chargers or the Rams. He's so dramatic. Oh, I mean, at that point, you gotta. They didn't run the ball at all, either team, which doesn't make sense. They've got Breece Hall with the Jets. Is he still injured? I thought Breece Hall was back.
I don't.
Yeah, Breece Hall ran for 62 yards. I guess so did Tony Pollard. But when you replace Derrick Henry with Tony Pollard, I mean, we watched what happened.
Tony Pollard was not bad.
No, but he's no Derrick Henry.
No, he's not. But he did a pretty good job filling in Dallas.
He did. Now, replacing Zeke was not a small task, and he definitely did that. Ezekiel Elliott is not the same running back as Derrick Henry.
No, yeah.
And when you run the ball and when your offense is built around a guy like Derrick Henry, you don't need a guy like Tony Pollard. You need a guy like Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard fit in that Cowboys offense because Dak could run the ball like Zeke. Dak was big, Dak was mean, and Dak could throw. So Tony Pollard got to play his little cat and mouse game, playing elusive. But you come in with a smash mouth offense and you put a guy like Tony Pollard who's quick and who is just able to find the space. When you're not able to create that space for him because the guy before him just made the space, he's not going to have that much success on the ground.
The Niners should have been looking at Pollard. That
I think the Niners as a backup. I mean, now what's his face? Jordan Mason. He looked good.
Well, and
really
20,
good.
20 carries, 100 yards, and week 1 he looked really good.
Well, right now, Jordan, if we look at the stats for rushing, Jordan Mason is second behind J.K. Dobbins as a rookie. He is looking good. He's stepping in and he's filling that spot.
Justin Jefferson's gonna fuck around and get Sam Darnold paid. That is what's gonna happen.
It's really unfortunate because I don't really like Sam Darnold, but
and he
Justin
doesn't.
Jefferson
That dude is elite.
I don't know. I think it's a lot better than Zach Wilson.
Well,
I'm really curious what happens when the Broncos eventually bench Brock Purdy and Zach Wilson just comes out and throws like lights out. How bad must the Jets be at developing quarterbacks that these guys who are leaving end up being actually good? They draft right, they develop bad.
I don't know. The Broncos haven't had a good choice in quarterback in a minute, so
no,
I don't think it's going to happen there.
We did not need Bo Nix. We needed a second-round guy who could come in and develop behind a veteran. We needed to bring in someone like Cousins, someone like even Andy Dalton.
Cousins got paid. There's no way.
Yeah, Cousins got paid.
What do you mean? We got Walmart paying for the team. You tell me
we spent all of our.
There's a pay cap. Like, you want to burn all that money for like 4 years guaranteed.
Well, we did that already with Russell Wilson.
That's right. I already erased the fact that Russell was a Bronco.
That wasn't fully guaranteed, though, was it?
No. It was quite a bit guaranteed. I don't know. I don't know the exact number, but it was. It wasn't a Kirk Cousins contract exactly, but it was a lot of money, and we're paying him quite a little bit of money to not play for the Steelers this year.
I'll take less money to not play for the Steelers.
For real. Like,
I don't know, Mike Tomlin, if I got the chance to, granted, I am as tall as Ben Roethlisberger. I'm not, I can't say that on TV. I'm not small like Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray. But
I am. Pay me.
Here's the thing. I'm average height, slightly overweight, and not that fast.
Well,
I come pretty cheap.
I've got this freshman on my flag football team. Dude can throw lasers. We need him at Wyoming. We need him in Denver.
There you go.
But I was watching what Tom Brady was saying, and I hate the guy. But sometimes he says smart things, and you gotta listen. And he was talking about how back in the day, you didn't draft quarterbacks who were only second year in college. You weren't drafting a 20-year-old quarterback. You wanted some of these guys who were 22, 23, who had played for 4 years and developed, and then they go and sit. That's why you've got Aaron Rodgers who's playing until he's 40. Tom Brady playing until he's 42 because they sat for 4 years.
Well, Brady didn't sit.
Well,
he came in his rookie year. He came in his rookie year.
But he sat like 2 years at Michigan before he got to start.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He got the chance to develop. You know, and these.
But of course, back then, to transfer, you had to sit out a full year too.
But he started at Michigan, I thought, didn't he?
He eventually
just his last year.
No, I thought that's where he spent his whole college career.
Oh no, I know, but he was only a starter. I thought.
Yeah,
but he
year?
when he was a freshman. He was the 7th seed.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Or the 7th stringer. It's just
that's crazy.
He's also a baseball player.
That's true.
Last player to get drafted by the Expos or something.
Oh, really? No shit. Huh. How did anybody see this Jets Titan? I know you guys probably talked about it, but I didn't see how Rodgers played. I know he didn't look very good.
He didn't look bad.
He didn't look.
That was the key. He didn't look great. But
that's what I thought about him week one. That's what I thought about him week one. Is like he didn't look good, but he didn't look like shitty. I mean, he looked out of sync and he looked kind of rusty. He looked real rusty.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't throw a pick, which is kind of a big thing, but he did only throw for 176.
That's kind of his whole thing, though. He makes smart decisions. He doesn't throw a ball. He thinks that even has a chance to get picked off.
Yeah.
He got sacked twice, which isn't, awful, especially playing
but he's old.
That O-line. He's 40. He doesn't have the same mobility that he used to.
Well, and he didn't have to get sacked last year to tear his Achilles, so it's
I don't know what's worse. Would you rather him take a sack or not?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is such a hard guy to like. Like, he is a fantastic quarterback, like one of the best I've ever seen. But man, even like he holds a lot of opinions that I agree with, but I just find him hard to like. He
was on ESPN today, and one of his taglines was ayahuasca enthusiast.
I mean, I don't have a huge problem with that, but like,
it's
not exactly what I'm looking for out of that quarterback.
He's just, like he's an excellent quarterback. He seems like he's a really sharp individual, but man, there's just,
I don't know if that's true.
And maybe not. I don't know. I said he seems like it. Whether he actually is or not, he seems to be pretty intelligent.
You agree with the ivermectin thing,
Well, that part turned out to be true the whole time. I don't know. I don't know why.
The reason people are like, you shouldn't be using the same shampoo and conditioner that you use in your horse. I'm like, it's there. Why do you use your horse medicine? It's there.
That whole conversation infuriated me as somebody who works with animal medicines all the time. It's the same fucking active ingredient. If you take the dosage if you take the dosage correctly, it's the same ingredient. But that's neither here nor there.
Ask all the football players juicing in the 90s or 80s.
Dude, yeah. Like it's funny because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a vet.
Oh, shit.
But I work with animals, and I've taken anatomy and physiology, biology. Like, a cow and a human are definitely different, but the internal workings are very, very similar.
Aside from the stomachs, like everything else pretty much works exactly the same. It's situated a little different, but like the internal mechanisms pretty much the same. But anyway, that was a big aside because of Aaron Rodgers. But 49ers at the Vikings. I didn't see that one coming. I had Niners. I didn't bet this game individually, but I threw them in a parlay, and that it wouldn't have mattered because the Cowboys had already fucked it over. So yeah,
but
I would not have picked the Vikings.
I wouldn't either, and I'm gonna chalk that up to just one of those weird things that happens in the NFL. I still think Niners are a really, really fucking good team. The Vikings might be better, or like Sam Darnold might be kind of okay with now that he's got an elite receiver. I mean, that doesn't hurt.
I mean,
for sure.
It's just gonna be like having Calvin Johnson back in the day. Just throw it up there and hope he catches it.
That's kind of what you got to do. And same thing, feed that boy. Let that guy get as many touches as he can get.
He's no Garrett Wilson.
No.
Yeah. Seahawks at the Patriots. This turned into be kind of a good game for two teams that I don't give two shits about anymore. But
I still hate the Pats.
Yeah, me too.
I do too, but I just don't care about them anymore. Like Belichick's gone, Brady's gone now. Yeah, I just don't care that much. I don't like them. I'm just kind of anti Boston teams in general.
I'm still pissed about that snow game in like 1999.
I'm way more pissed about the fucking Joe Flacco overtime AFC Championship throw that at the Broncos. That one,
yeah.
Oh man,
playoff Joe. That
Joe
man
Flacco. That
quarterback except in the postseason.
One of the biggest arms that's ever played the game of football, though. God damn, he threw a pretty deep ball. But
Jay Cutler. But
Jay Cutler was he was fun. I like Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler could have made a Hall of Fame if he cared about football.
If he cared about anything, really.
Jay Cutler was like a slightly less talented Nikola Jokic.
The smoking that's a very good comparison.
I think you're giving him too much credit, but still hilarious because
these two look like he has all this talent, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, but they're also kind of both soft and dopey.
Yeah. Well, and does Jokic smoke? Because having a smoking Joker would also be great. Because the smoking Jay Cutler meme was always hilarious. It's still hilarious to this day. It's hilarious. Giants at the Commanders. Who fucking cares?
Jaden Daniels still has yet to throw a touchdown.
He put up good numbers in fantasy league though. So none of the rookie quarterbacks have thrown a touchdown yet. So that's cool. Week 3's third time's a charm. Third time's a charm for bonus.
Who do the Broncos have week 3? We might get a touchdown. They might throw a touchdown. I don't think we're gonna beat the Bucs.
Yeah, no,
that new Packers quarterback not a rookie.
Oh, Malik Willis. He played at Tennessee.
Yeah,
really?
I
didn't realize he just never got in a game. Really?
No. So he started one game behind Tannehill. It just wasn't that great.
Well, you're obviously not great if you can't beat Tannehill out of a starting job. Like,
I don't know.
Tannehill was a starting quarterback for like 10 years.
Right,
decent.
But
he was good enough.
Like he was never. I mean, was anybody just wishing they had Tannehill on their team?
Probably the Broncos.
Yeah. We could have used Tannehill at the time.
He wouldn't have made that much of nobody would have been more pissed off. I don't think it would have been like the same amount of rage that Broncos fans felt for the rest of them.
He probably went to more playoff games than the Broncos did in that stretch. Since
well, that's not saying much.
Since Peyton.
The Broncos, if they don't have a good quarterback, it's pretty bleak times. You know, like Elway retired and it was
rough.
It was a little rough.
We had Jake Plummer.
I liked Jake Plummer.
Hey, was it Greasy in there?
Yeah, we had Brian Greasy.
I think Greasy was a Pro Bowler in that.
We went through a little spell where we kind of kept trading quarterbacks with the Bears.
Yeah, we had Greasy, and then we had Orton. Bubby Brister. Yeah, we had Kyle Orton. I forgot about him.
We had him right before Tebow. I still maintain that Tebow might be the greatest quarterback in NFL history.
That was a fun year when it was nerve-wracking. Took years off of my life, but
rough.
But man, if the defense was good enough and if they kept it close and within 2 scores. fucking Tebow would go out there and win it for you. And wouldn't do shit the rest of the game, but fourth quarter, and if he's down by 2 scores or so, he'll go out and win it.
I wonder if Urban Meyer had come out and it wasn't who was it? Was it Josh McDaniels?
Yeah.
Instead of Josh McDaniels, had we hired Urban Meyer, I wonder if Tebow might have turned out to be a much better quarterback in the league.
I don't know. With a real salary cap, Urban Meyer might have a problem.
You think? Do you think Urban
House.
Meyer ever fingered Tebow's butthole like he did that waitress?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. It explained a lot about Tim Tebow.
He finger banged Aaron Hernandez's butthole like that.
Well,
Hernandez was into it.
Why he turned out the way he did.
Damn.
Yeah. What a wild time that had to have been at the University of Florida when with that crew. God damn.
Just like polar opposites.
Tim Tebow, the Boy Scout, trying to keep everybody on the up and up, and Aaron Hernandez running drugs and gang shit.
That seems like Miami from the 90s.
I know, in the off season. On the off season, Hernandez was out murdering people, and Tebow was building hospitals in the Philippines or some shit. It was just such a polar opposite. Speaking of another who cares game, the Chargers at the Panthers. Chargers won 26-3.
Chargers are a 2-0 team who will not remain undefeated. I guarantee that.
No, they won't remain undefeated, but they'll look good. Like they might make the playoffs and then piss it away at the end.
They might have the number one offense and miss the playoffs.
They do have Harbaugh this time around, so that's
and J.K. Dobbins, who is just a beast. 17 carries for 131. I mean, that's efficiency.
And Herbert, they won 26-3, and Herbert only threw for 130 yards. So Dobbins ran for more yards than Herbert threw for. That's,
not a great thing.
It's not a great thing, but Herbert can sling it, and if they can win that convincingly,
good point. They
were already up 20-0 at halftime.
Bryce Young got benched too, so.
So is Bryce Young just done? I saw something this morning that's just a miserable trade. I think they gave up. I forget. They gave up a wide receiver and 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
It was DJ Moore, wasn't it?
Yeah. They gave up DJ Moore, and they gave up DJ Moore for a guy who's the same size as Kyler Murray, who doesn't have the same skill set as Kyler Murray. You can be 5'10". Russell Wilson was 5'10", and he won a Super Bowl. He was on one of those dominating teams in the 2010s.
Yeah.
You can be short and be successful, but you have to have those skills. Bryce Young doesn't have those skills. He thrived at Alabama because they recruited the best offensive lines, the best wide receivers, the best
running back. Yeah.
Mac Jones succeeded at Alabama. And look at Mac Jones now.
Yeah.
Very good point.
You got to look at Alabama and their quarterbacks. There's a reason an Alabama quarterback is not in the top 10 in the league. And Tua's not, because Tua can't stay on the damn field.
Yeah.
I guess Jalen Hurts, but how much of a quarterback is Jalen Hurts?
He can throw the ball.
A little bit. He does all right. He has his moments.
Put him at a pure quarterback, pure passer. I wouldn't put him in the top 10 though.
Oh no.
No, but I think you drop out of several people if you're going to say that.
Well, yeah, you're left with Kirk. You're left with Rodgers, Baker,
Mahomes, obviously.
Mahomes.
Yeah, but even Mahomes, you're gonna cut him. A lot of the things that Mahomes does is great. Is move around on the field.
Yep.
Yeah, but a lot of it is arm talent. If he didn't have the arm talent, he couldn't do half the stuff he does when he moves around.
Fine.
Same with Josh Allen. Josh Allen, half the stuff he does is bowl people over. But if he didn't have the arm talent, he wouldn't be where he was at.
Yeah, but I would put him more in the same category as a Jalen Hurts than like he's closer to a Jalen Hurts than he is a Pat Mahomes.
Josh Allen is?
He
Yeah.
runs.
I don't know. I think Josh Allen's got more arm talent than Jalen Hurts does.
Oh,
Sure,
no,
but
no, no doubt.
He runs more than.
But he's more in the same category of a Jalen Hurts than he is like a Patty Mahomes or a Baker Mayfield.
That's true.
No, I like Josh Allen. I'd like to see him at least make the Super Bowl.
They got to make it, even if they lose another 4 straight. He's got to get them there.
Please don't.
What's that?
Please don't let them be in the Super Bowl 4 times. Like, I just don't care about
yeah,
Buffalo.
no shit. Well, like Buffalo might spontaneously combust if they lose a 4th straight Super Bowl a second time around.
I went to Buffalo last year. Like, it might spontaneously bust anyways.
Right. Well, at least they'll get 7,000 feet of snow on top of it, so it'll put the fire out eventually.
Yeah,
Browns at Jaguars, another who cares game. Deshaun Watson, he must have got yanked before the game because he pulled off a win this week. So.
Yeah, he got one of those massages. It was a weird game.
Didn't he get accused aren't there like some
more?
One.
There's another one. It's new.
Well, I mean, what did he have at Houston? Like 26? I mean,
26 different women, not just like massage therapists, but like just women in general accused him of sexual assault and harassment.
I want to clarify that I'm not condoning any of his actions at all, but I'm saying if you go from 26 allegations, you can't expect him to quit cold turkey. Like I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying you can't expect him to just shut it down completely.
Well, I thought this was from the same time period, but I don't know.
Oh, is it? Well, that would also make sense too. Is he going to do anything at all?
No,
it looks like
I hate Deshaun Watson. I want him out of the league. I want him.
It's funny how fast an opinion can change on a guy, because when he was doing his thing, I was like, all right, let's see what he can do, and then then the allegations start coming out, and you're just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you've got so much money. How do you at least not settle all this shit? Like, you'd have to think
girls you can hire,
right? Like,
you don't have to do this. Girls will
you could just go to a different massage parlor,
right? And and if like you're making more money than God, like you can fix this. You can. That should how was that a problem for you? How was it a problem? That's the part that I can't wrap my head around. It's like, how the fuck, dude? Like, you're.
Well, we know who kind of works at those massage parlors and who works in that industry, and maybe he's just got a type. Maybe that type probably isn't really impressed by the fact that you're an NFL quarterback.
Well, I'm guessing he wasn't going to Asian massage parlors, because as far as I know, they've never ratted anybody out. Like, they may get raided from time to time, but it's not like they ever have an informant on the inside of those Asian massage parlors. It's usually like a middle-aged white woman that gets upset. It's not the little Asian massage therapists that rat him out.
I'm just gonna stay out of this one.
Fair enough. Raiders at the Ravens. Your boys pulling off the win in Baltimore.
That was a
didn't
wild
see that coming.
game. I watched the end of that game. It was nuts.
Minshew looks like all right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I lost money on that one.
Yeah, I did too.
Because honestly, last week we were talking about Isaiah Likely's big ass fucking toe costing us money, and he didn't cost us any money. Well, I mean, he did, but it wasn't wasn't that cost us money. It's like they just I don't know what happened. The Raiders came to play, and that's they got the dub. So Ravens starting 0-2. I don't think that's happened since Lamar's been there.
No. And this one, I mean, they lost a heartbreaker to the Chiefs. They honestly probably should have won.
Yeah.
The Raiders, they wanted it more today, or that yesterday on what was it, Sunday? They wanted it more on Sunday, and they showed it.
And Gardner Minshew, coach put him in. He won state, you know. Devontae got nine catches for 110 and a touchdown. That's you got to keep that going if you're gonna have any success in Vegas. You gotta get Devontae his catches.
He's gonna get pissed if you don't start throw if you don't throw to him like last year.
He is a classic diva wide receiver, but he does he's
one of the best wide receivers out there. Like
deservedly so. The dude's he's elite. No doubt. And speaking of elite, Kyler Murray finally realized that he has an elite receiver on his team.
If you watch, I watched the press release thing, the after game thing, and Marvin Harrison said that he saw that Murray had 4 incompletions, and they were all to him, and he's like, we got to fix that. After he had 4 receptions for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns came in 1 quarter.
Yeah.
1 quarter. His dad didn't do that until his 6th season.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is like that dude was just made to catch footballs in the NFL. I mean, another guy, feed him the ball. Whatever you got to do, get the ball in his hands and good things happen. Kyler Murray does what Kyler Murray does. He looks mediocre one week and then just goes the fuck off. 266 and 3 touchdowns. Cardinals beat the shit out of the Rams. Marvin Harrison's going to have a great year. Kyler Murray's probably always a fantasy football start, but probably going to be some stinkers in there along the way too.
So, speaking of Kyler Murray, I got the Padres Astros game on. I don't know what happened, but Altuve just took his shoe off and then got ejected.
Jesus. It's always something with the
shoe
Astros.
And sock, and he was yelling, but I think he said he got hit with the ball or something like that. Showing a bruise on his foot or something, but I don't know what's going on.
Altuve used to maybe get some love for that, not so much anymore. Not after that. The banging on trash cans season. Nobody gives a fuck about Altuve anymore.
Nope.
And you know what? Deservedly so. Deservedly so. Steelers at the Broncos. This game sucked. Broncos suck.
Too drunk for catch with myself.
Broncos suck. Bo Nix, 246.
2 interceptions.
I did like his press conference after the game. They asked him about his red zone interception. He said, they're like, what happened there? And he said, well, I
dropped back,
took the snap, dropped back, and threw it to the other team. It's like, well,
that's very.
Yes, you did.
I think Bo Nix, he struggled at Auburn.
Yeah.
He struggled under that coaching style. He struggled under the play style. He started to figure it out. He went to Oregon. He really figured it out. I think that under Sean Payton, Bo Nix, give him a couple more games. Let him get his legs under him. He is one of the more experienced rookies. I think. Yeah. I think, going back,
he's not Mormon, but he's what you could classify as a Mormon rookie. 30-year-old rookie.
Like Taysom Hill.
What was Brandon Whedon back in the day? Wasn't he like 27 when he got drafted?
Yeah. Dude was old.
Yeah, that was another
that's old
Browns
coming
pick,
up in
right?
baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Browns took him first round. Because of course they did. Of course he did. Of course they did. Why wouldn't they? I won money on this game though. The over under was 36.5.
You bet under?
Fuck yeah.
I would have bet under after last week.
Broncos defense is still pretty decent. Steelers defense is really good.
I think Broncos are pretty good taking the under all of last year too.
Yep. Last year, I took them to cover and the under. I usually parlayed that, and that hit more often than not. I think they're a good under bet this year. I forget what the line was. I don't think they covered, but it was pretty close. 13-6 though, and it wasn't even an exciting 13-6 game. Because I'm a fan of like good run the ball defensive football, and if it's two good running games and defenses going at each other, and it's a 13-6 game, I'll watch the fuck out of that. But that was not this game. This was a shit game. I don't have much hope for Knicks at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see how it comes. How he turns out. Bengals at the Chiefs. Harrison Butker, people didn't like him in the offseason because he made some comments about women. Turns out the dude makes field goals when it matters. So,
well, that was never not true.
I know.
Just now he does it while being an asshole.
Of a dick.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, and there's a reason he gets paid. just there, he's good at his job. Bengals, yeah. I
mean, they'll probably be all right.
They'll probably be all right, but it seems like they kind of missed their window of opportunity. You know, they haven't done anything to really get better on the offensive line, and that's what they need. They've got an elite quarterback that they can't keep healthy because he gets sacked more than God. You know, just shit, man. You gotta do something there. It's a shame. Burrow's a hell of a quarterback, and they're just wasting him.
Yeah, they really should. They should have made a push this offseason, but I still think they'll be playoff team.
They'll be all right as long as Burrow can stay healthy. But yeah, he's still
got lucky, and that's really their biggest competition there. If they don't beat out the Steelers, they're going to at least make the wild card.
Well, Steelers are going to make that a game. You know they will. So it's Mike Tomlin. He's gonna get 10 wins somehow.
I don't understand. He's the longest tenured head coach in the NFL, and he might have one of the worst good teams.
Yeah, he's never had a losing record, and he's he's won the Super Bowl twice, right? Or just once?
I think they won it once.
They've lost twice.
They're always in the conversation. I mean, sometimes a lot more seriously than other years, but like they're always in the playoff conversation. Chiefs, I mean, Pacheco's out, but it sounds like they're going to sign Kareem Hunt, and he's familiar with the system, so he'll slide right in, and who cares? Patty Mahomes got way more options to throw to now. I guess Hollywood Brown's out for the year, but they haven't needed him so far, so they'll be all right. Be watching them all season again. It is what it is. Until Mahomes retires, that guy's the guy to beat. That's just kind of how it is.
You don't win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years without being one of the best.
Yep. Texans or Bears at the Texans. It's a tighter game than it needed to be, but the Bears defense is pretty good. Like they're pretty legit. Caleb Williams sucks. Yeah.
I don't know how much he sucks versus just how much the Bears suck.
Well, the
with
Bears suck for
best
sure.
quarterbacks to ever play in college.
Well, Chicago is one of the places where quarterbacks go to die, and that the only one that kind of slipped that stereotype was Jay Cutler. But he was already good when he went to
I
to
think
Chicago.
that's the difference. That's where rookies go to die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they even when they won the Super Bowl, they had Jim McMahon. He was not a good quarterback either, but they had the fridge.
You got a 6'5", 280-pound dude running through people.
Oh, and then also sweetness. They had fucking Walter Payton. So that they didn't need a good quarterback, but which was good for him then. But they still, like I said, Cutler was their only good, actually good quarterback, and he was Jay Cutler, kind of a missed opportunity for football.
Again, Brian Greasy wasn't that bad.
He wasn't that bad, but he wasn't that good.
He's a much better coach than he is a player.
And then we had Falcons at the Eagles. Falcons pulling off 22-21. I didn't get to watch this game, but I took them in a teaser. I took Falcons plus 11.5, and then took the under in a teaser, and so that hit.
Do you just bet on football and not watch it, Matt?
What's that?
Do you just bet on these games and not watch them?
No, some of them. Some of them. I try to watch the ones I bet on, but my daughter had soccer practice yesterday, so I didn't get to watch the game. By the time we got home, it was basically done, so I didn't get to watch it. But
that's a good excuse.
Baseball's been very exciting. That's my excuse.
Especially with your Tigers making a push.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Let's run through this next week NFL real quick, and then we'll go baseball. But we got Patriots at the Jets on Thursday. Jets minus 6.5, over under at 38.5. I like the under on that. I don't like.
No, I think against the Pats, Mayo is a good coach, but I really think that the Jets are going to figure out a way to really use Breece Hall in the running game, really use Garrett Wilson in the passing game. They're going to be able to, Aaron Rodgers loves his tight ends. He's going to be able to find some good tight end play. I think they're going to put it together. I can see it being like a 45-22 game. I
don't think it's going to happen. I'll take it under.
I've got a lot of faith in Aaron Rodgers. I grew up watching Aaron Rodgers. I've got a lot of faith in him, and I've got zero faith in the Patriots because they're a garbage team. They suck, and they're the worst, and I hope they lose. The Patriots.
I hope they lose.
I do too. And the Jets got a good defense, and I don't think the Patriots are gonna.
Well, and I'm not saying that they're not gonna win, but I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I am too. The Jets have a nasty defense. They haven't put up a ton of points, and I don't think they'll need to. This looks like an ugly grind them out type of game that I probably won't watch, but I will take the under. Giants at the Browns. Snooze.
But I don't want to pick the Giants.
Yeah, fuck that game. Everything about it. I'm not watching it. I'm not betting it. Don't care. Packers at the Titans. We got Tennessee minus 3. Over unders at 36.5. Give me the under and give me the Packers.
Do not have a lot of faith in these young quarterbacks or these old quarterbacks.
I do not.
No, me neither. I think I'm the same. Packers in the under.
Yeah, I think this is a 13-10 game, and Jacobs will have another 100-yard game, is my guess.
He's already rushed for 48 carries.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And over 100 yards twice already. So, yeah, they're just going to feed Jacobs, and they should just run it down their throat. Bears at the Colts. We got
taking the Colts.
Colts easy. I can't believe it's an even spread here.
Yeah. We got Indy -1 over under at 43.5. Give me Indy, and I might take the under in a teaser.
You want to take a fun bet? Take Caleb Williams plus 1 touchdown. I think this is where he's going to get his first touchdown.
You know, that's not a bad. If you do same game parlay, go anytime touchdown and under on the passing yards. Not a bad bet. I think he's going to have to throw a touchdown at some point. You would think.
Right. You would think.
I mean, at some point, it doesn't even have to be his fault. They could just do a nice little dump off pass and someone runs for 40 yards or something.
Well, he's got some weapons. Like somebody's going to break a.
DJ Moore is not a terrible receiver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like someone's going to, even if you can't make a long throw, someone's going to make a long run.
They got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. They got Cole Kmet. I mean, he's got some weapons, and somebody's going to break one loose. That it's bound to happen. Texans at the Vikings.
Texans all the way.
Yeah, their spreads at 2.5. Houston 45.5 over and under. Give me the over, and Houston to cover. I think this is like a 28-20 game, somewhere in that range. Eagles at the Saints. We got New Orleans minus 2.5 over under at 49.5. I like the Eagles to cover. Maybe buy a half a point, take it to 3, and I mean I might take Eagles money line. Honestly,
I'm thinking about taking Saints.
Saints. It's not a bad pick.
We'll see if Derek Carr is actually good.
Derek Carr's been good. There's a reason he's still a starter in this league.
All right, so on my bookie, we've got Eagles are plus 120 and Saints are minus 147 money line. I mean, that's
pretty close.
That's honestly that's not a bad bet for the Saints either, money line. I like the Eagles though. I might just take Eagles money line, better odds. That should be a good game though. Chargers at the Steelers. Steelers -2. Over unders at 35.5. That might be another under game too. I don't see anything about that game that screams lots of points.
I don't think the Steelers are going to score much, but I think they're going to keep the Chargers to 17. If I had to pick the score, I'd say it'd be 13-17 Chargers.
That's
I think Herbert's going to have a decent game. He's going to throw a pick or two. He's going to have a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins is going to have a touchdown. They're going to kick one to seal it.
Najee Harris will have like 80 yards rushing. Fields will have a mediocre game, and
Russell Wilson is sitting for this game. He's officially listed as.
Will he have his pads
uniform?
On? He's going to have his pads on. Dude could get his leg cut off and he'd still suit up.
I want him to get up in the booth with his pads on. Like he's sitting next to the OC in the booth, helmet and all. I want him. I just want to be fully decked out at all times.
He's gonna get the chance to be a broadcaster and he's gonna show up in his pads.
I want him to show up at church with a full camera crew in pads. Like I want the Russell Wilson praise and worship picture.
Sarah's gonna have none of that.
In full pads, though.
Sarah's gonna have none of that.
I'm sure she won't, but I want to see it. I want to see it. So where were we at?
Panthers Raiders.
Oh, here we go. We got Broncos at the Bucks. Bucks -6.5. Over unders at 39.5.
I think Bucks got
take the
6.5
over.
in them.
I'm going to take the over on that one.
I'm taking under, and I'm taking Broncos to cover. I'm going back to my old method.
Back to Bo Nix for president. All right.
Yeah. Well, I'm not
over the mountains.
I'm not going Broncos money line, but I'm gonna go under and Broncos to cover. Just
all right.
I'm going with my method of last year. Just that Broncos ain't gonna win shit, but I might be able to win some money off them. Yeah, Panthers, Raiders.
Sam Bones thought too when he bought the team.
Right. Panthers, Raiders. Who cares?
Raiders all the way. Minshew's going to throw for 400 yards,
minus 5.5. Yeah,
money.
Yeah. I don't care about this game, but yeah, hammer Vegas with the spread, 40.5. I mean,
I'd go over. They're playing at home against the worst team in the league.
Yes, but
that's like the I don't know, the Raiders. That's like the
41 points for one team to score in the NFL is a lot, and I don't have any faith that the Panthers can score any point. I mean, and we do have the red rifle back in uniform though, and Andy Dalton. Maybe he'll be the savior of Carolina.
17-35 final score.
I don't think Panthers put up 17, but
Andy Dalton's going to lead a garbage time drive. They're going to
I could see that happening.
Oh, he
and they're going to make it instead of 35-10, they're going to make it 35-17.
You know what's going to happen is this looks like such a great spread at 5.5. It's going to be a close game, and fucking Andy Dalton's going to backdoor cover for the Panthers. They're going to lose by 4 points or something like that, or it'll be a 5-point game because Andy Dalton scrambles for like a 20-yard touchdown in garbage time.
No way.
Andy Dalton's scrambling at 36 years old. I
don't think he's scrambling at 26 years old.
He'd be jogging.
Andy Dalton
actually
was
he can move.
He was pretty mobile.
He can move. He's 36 against
Raiders. He was kind of like
defense.
Tua back in the day. Like there was always a chance that he might die of a concussion on the field.
He's one of the most unlucky quarterbacks in the NFL. He always made it to the game, but
that
he never
ginger. It's that ginger and no soul. Dolphins at the Seahawks. Before Tua got killed, this is a really interesting game. Seattle minus 4.5. Yeah, give me Seattle. I don't.
Who's backing up Tua? Who's going to start this game?
Thompson's his last name. I don't remember.
DTR. He played at was it Cincy?
I don't know. I'd never heard of the dude.
But if y'all don't know who he is, I'm hammering.
Tyler Thompson. No, he's a white guy. He played at Kansas State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. He's been a kind of journeyman backup. He's not great.
Hammer Seattle on this one. Man.
Yeah, I think so. And then
that money line or that over under.
41.5.
I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna leave that one be.
I think so too. If Tua was in there, I'd take that over all day. But
absolutely,
that line wouldn't be 41.5 if Tua was starting either. So, give me Seattle with the points, and yeah, I'm not gonna mess with the over under. Ravens at the Cowboys. We got 1-1 Cowboys at the 0-2 Ravens at the 1-1 Cowboys. Baltimore -1 over under at 48.5.
Big time Baltimore.
Yeah, I think
there's no way they're taking 0-3.
No, I think they gotta win this, and I like the over too.
The Cowboys had their 16-game home winning streak snapped too.
Yep. So, I think Baltimore rolls.
I don't know if they're gonna roll, but I don't think it's gonna be. I don't know if it'll be a blowout by NFL standards, but it's gonna be more than a touch or a field goal.
And give me Travis Henry with $120 at least.
I wonder if Zeke will outrush outrush Derrick Henry over there. I mean, Lamar Jackson's outrushing Derrick Henry, and that's not really Lamar.
But that's not even. I mean, that might be even by design, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna you want to stack the box for Henry? Like, we'll just take it outside on you.
Yeah. Well, and then they're gonna have to, and that's the thing about Lamar is like he's not a run first guy. He can run better than just about anybody, but he's not a run first guy. Like he's
a good passer.
He's a legit pocket passer.
He is, but like him being a good passer and now having a serious run option, like that just opens it up for him even more.
Oh yeah, and so they're gonna at some point Henry's gonna get going. They're gonna stack the box, and so it's gonna leave it for Lamar to on a bootleg, or he's just gonna dice him up. Yeah. The Ravens are going to be a problem. They started out 0-2. I don't see them being 0-3, and I think they come in and just.
Yeah, it's not like they got destroyed like 2 games in a row. Like
no,
2 close games.
I think they just put their dick on the table today, this week though, and just they roll. Niners at the Rams. We got -7.5 for the Niners, 43.5 for the over. I like the Rams to cover there.
I do too. I think it'll be a lot closer than that 7.5.
I think Rams are a pretty decent team. They don't have the record to show up, but they got their ass beat by Arizona. But
Arizona, though, they could be, they could have finally figured it out.
Arizona's going to be, they're going to be a tough one to bet.
When Murray had Fitzgerald, they were a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Murray needs to have a guy he trusts. And I think with Marvin Harrison Jr., he's got a guy he can trust.
Like they got to feed Marvin Harrison Jr. Like they can't get away from that. That they have to.
4 incompletions, and they were all towards Harrison Jr. I mean, when you trust a guy that much that you're willing to miss trying to get him the ball, you've got a guy, you've got a connection that's going to mean something.
Yeah.
I don't think the Lions are going to win this one.
I still think the Lions are a good team.
I do too.
I don't see them going down or 1-2.
So the spreads: Detroit -3. Over under. I'll take the over 52.5.
That's probably a good bet.
I think they put up some points. I don't know how this game goes though. Like that Aiden Hutchinson is a game wrecker if you let him be. Like he's that dude's an elite edge rusher.
He's like Mason Crosby over at Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. He's a guy who will come in and he will tear your offensive line apart.
Yeah, you saw it for the first quarter against the Bucks, who are a really good team. Baker got sacked 3 times in the first quarter, and then they figured it out. And once they kind of
the game with 4.5 sacks.
Yeah,
4.5 sacks in a game. When they stop you after the first quarter and you still find a way to get 4.5 sacks, that's impressive.
Yeah, they focused all their attention on him, and he's still got a sack and a half after that. And the dude's elite. We'll see. I don't know much about Arizona's offensive line, but I see a lot of points being scored. I mean, fucking Goff threw it like 50 sometimes in that game. So yeah, they're gonna put up some points,
I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why you end up with 3 picks, though.
Same old Lions. Sunday night game. We got Chiefs at the Falcons. Chiefs -3.5. Over under at 46.5. Give me the Falcons to cover. Chiefs are notoriously don't cover a lot. Like they win, they rack up a lot of wins, and a lot of times they have come from behind wins, but they don't
score wins.
They don't cover a whole lot. So 3.5. Give me the Falcons. 46.5. I'm gonna stay away from the over under.
I don't know the way that the Falcons held the Eagles. That showed
Falcons
me.
got a pretty decent defense, and the Chiefs have a pretty decent defense. So
Yeah,
I don't know. That's 46.5 is a lot. I'm gonna stay away from the over under, but I like the Falcons to cover. Just the Chiefs are lazy. Falcons played a pretty good game this past week. Kirk Cousins. It's a primetime game though, so he's not going to win. You know that.
no, primetime Kirko is not a good Kirko to have on your team.
No. And then the Monday night game, and we got the Jags at the Bills. The Jags are 0-2. Bills are 2-0. We got Buffalo -5.5 at home. Over unders at 45.5.
Oof.
I like the under and probably the Jags to cover, I think.
I think this game we see Josh Allen throw for 300 yards.
How many turnovers, though?
Oh, I'm not betting the turnovers. Come on, he's a Wyoming quarterback, Matt.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying though. Like
I'm betting the turnovers. I'm only betting the yardage. You don't bet the turnovers.
300 yards. I'm wondering if I don't know. This seems kind of like a letdown game for the Bills. I won't be surprised if they lose it. But I think Jags cover 5.5. Seem
I don't know if Trevor Lawrence can keep up. Look, Josh Allen's not having the greatest start, but he can turn it around. We haven't seen Trevor Lawrence turn it around after a not great start. Trevor Lawrence for 380 yards in 2 games.
I'm starting to think Lawrence is kind of a bust, honestly. Like
I don't disagree. He played in an offense in Clemson that was just designed around him. You know, he came in, he got screwed over by Urban Meyer.
Should probably be in an offense that's designed around him at the Jaguars too.
Right. Yeah, and they won't do that. You know, you watch Dabo Swinney, and that's how he wins. He finds a quarterback. That's why he's got Cade Klubnik. If Cade Klubnik, doesn't have a great year this year, next year he will. We'll see that at Clemson. But, Trevor Lawrence didn't know what losing was until he got to the Jaguars, and now it seems like he loves it.
Well, he hasn't done anything to stop it. So
that's what I'm saying. He's barely thrown anything.
Yeah.
And when you're throwing for less than 200 yards a game, you're not going into Buffalo and winning that game.
Maybe not. The Bills have been kind of on a tear. This seems like kind of a letdown game. I think they win. I think the Jags cover. I kind of like the under, but I'm going to stay away from the total points. Commanders at the Bengals. Yeah, Bengals -7.5. Over unders 48.5.
Bengals are going to cover that spread. They're pissed. They've lost.
I think they probably cover.
Game.
But I think this is like a 24-10 game or something like that.
Well, they're not going to score a lot, but they're going to hold
24-10. That still covers for them.
That does.
Yeah, I think they'll cover the spread. I don't
okay.
I think the under's a pretty.
Yeah, I think the under's. Yeah. Yes.
I think Jaden Daniels will probably have 100 yards rushing. Maybe he'll throw a touchdown. Who knows? We'll see. But this isn't a very good game. I like the under more than I like the spread, but I think the spread's probably pretty safe too. Commanders haven't shown much of anything. But that's football. Let's get into baseball. I know Jake's been waiting to talk about this. Let's go.
I was just watching Houston beat San Diego in the 10th.
They ruined my parlay too. God damn it.
I don't know what happened here. I don't got sound or captions, but Profar's pissed.
Oof. Well,
yelling "fuck you" at someone.
Freaking Houston though. They were like 11 games back at one point this season.
I think it's out of I think Seattle doesn't have a shot anymore.
I don't think so either. they're just. I mean, they're kind of in the picture for the.
How far back behind the Tigers are they? The Tigers have the best chance to sneak in.
They're a half game back. I don't know what. I think they're losing, so they might be a full game back after today.
Yeah.
So yes, they do. They are in the hunt for a wild card, but
they're 3 games back of the wild card spot. Detroit is a game and a half. If they can,
they're a game behind. I think they're a game behind us. Oh no, game and a half now.
Game and a half.
Detroit, with Detroit win today.
Yeah, so Detroit's a game and a half behind the Twins. The Twins, I mean, they've been kind of in that spot all year, but I don't know. Detroit's kind of getting hot when it matters. That's one thing about baseball. If you get hot at the right time and you're within striking distance, you can make shit happen.
Yeah, definitely.
They got 11 games left.
11 games.
10 games, huh?
10 games. Yes, sorry, 10 games.
10 games. So they're a game and a half back. Royals are a game and a half up on the Twins. 4 games behind the Orioles. They're not going to catch that top. But they're not going to catch the Guardians either.
No, but they're not far behind the Guardians, and I'd rather them not. If we look at recent playoff history, the teams that play in the wild card are the teams that tend to do better.
Yeah. So as of right now, if the season ended today, we'd have the Yankees and the Guardians with the top 2 spots with the bye. So then we have Houston playing the Twins, and then the Orioles and the Royals playing each other.
I like that. I'm pretty sure the Royals took the season series against the Orioles, and my cousin is supposed to be back for that. He's on the IL right now with some elbow. He strained his elbow a little bit. But
who's your cousin?
James MacArthur. He was a shutdown closer in the start of the season. He's played not so great after the All-Star break. But he's number 66 for the Royals. But I really think that they can go all the way. I think they're going to take the Orioles down.
When the Royals get hot, they're a dangerous team in the playoffs. I mean, they
got Bobby Witt, who's the first shortstop with 2 30-30 seasons.
Yeah,
he also
it's not a 50-50 season, but
by WAR he is maybe the 3rd best shortstop season ever right now.
Yeah,
right?
he's playing out of his
batting average in the league by 20 points.
Yeah, he's at like a 9 WAR, and like I think only maybe Alex Rodriguez and Honus Wagner have better. That's a pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good right there.
Yeah, but they're on a nice 2-game slide right now.
3-game slide.
Oh well, I don't know. I just saw the last 2.
We lost. Yeah, we lost to y'all tonight, which made it a 3-game slide.
The Royals,
you're playing Scuba tomorrow, so let's just call it a 4 right now.
Well, let's see who's starting tomorrow for the Royals. We have Alec Marsh. Why are we starting Alec Marsh? Who started today?
Was Lugo today?
Oh, you guys can't beat up on Lugo.
Or was Lugo yesterday? No, Lugo was yesterday. Sorry, and we hang far on him yesterday in 4 innings.
Yeah, we pulled him. I don't know. We still have one of the best starting rotations in baseball. I'm still tomorrow going to take the Royals over the Tigers. But who do the Tigers play next?
Let's
y'all
see.
start against
the Tigers.
Y'all. This is y'all.
Yeah, we're going back to Baltimore.
The Twins are playing Cleveland. Y'all are playing Baltimore. This is the best chance for the Tigers to take over. The Twins start. Y'all
Baltimore's a good fucking team.
It's a good team.
We just took 2 of 3 off them over the weekend. Another weekend away this time. I don't see us taking 2 or 3 again.
But you in 2 series at home with Tampa and the White Sox. So Tampa is not not great, but
No,
they
White Sox. Hopefully, at that point, will have already secured the worst record ever. So
Yeah,
we
for
won't have
real.
nothing to
they
play
not?
for.
Have
No,
they
not yet.
Not
No,
yet.
they gotta lose like 5 or 6 of.
They
11?
have to outperform their season average to not be
They have to like double
historically
their.
bad.
They have to like double their.
They're
season
already
average.
historically bad. They have the longest losing streak in MLB history.
Did they already have that?
No,
I
they
thought
did
they had
not.
it from. I thought they had it from like a couple years ago.
I thought they stole it from the A's.
Oh, the A's, really? Okay.
The Rockies aren't in that conversation. That makes me happy.
No, because they just try and win like 73 games every single year.
Right. Yeah. Just right below 500.
Yeah, not bad enough that anyone's gonna really hate you.
No.
So people will still keep going to the game and be one of the.
It was the 88 Orioles. They tied it with 21 straight
No shit.
losses. Yeah, the 88 Orioles in the American League.
So
kind of interesting that the win and loss streaks are about the same.
Yeah. The longest losing streak is the Phillies in 1963.
It's like 45.
1961 with 23.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot of games in a row. That's a solid month.
That's a month. That's a month.
That's a solid month without seeing a win. Oh, that's got to be miserable. So I was gonna say the Royals remind me a lot of the Brewers, except when the Royals get in the playoffs, like they tend to win.
Yeah,
they only go to win.
Yeah, the Brewers seem to make the playoffs. Not a lot, but they make the playoffs pretty regular, and then they're always bounced in the first round. Like
not against the Rockies, unfortunately.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, the Rockies have one successful season in the playoffs.
Hey, we had 2. We made it to the LCS twice.
Well,
2009, we made it back to the LCS and got smoked by the Phillies in 4 games.
Did we make it to the? I thought it was just the division.
No,
series.
I thought it was division series.
I thought we made it to the LCS.
No, I think it was the DS. Because I think we beat the Royal. I mean, not the Royals, the Brewers, right? It was like a 1 game, the play-in game, I think.
Yeah,
and then,
it was the NLDS. Then we didn't make it until 2018, 9 years later, and we got fucking whooped.
Yeah.
We went from getting to the World Series in 2007 to going 74 and 88 in 2008.
We caught the monster of the Red Sox too, when they had to win 3 straight to clinch the ALCS, and the Rockies just sat in the cold weather and played simulated games for 11 days.
Terrible.
So bad.
They came in so cold.
And
that entire fucking stadium was
and they were running off of emotion the entire playoffs too. That was such a fun time though. We watched all the entire championships or the entire division series we watched in the Ramskeller. Half of the championship series we watched in the Ramskeller, and then the World Series was just miserable.
I was watching the World Series in my elementary school cafeteria.
Are you calling us old, you sumbitch?
My beard is not gray.
Damn.
Fair enough.
It's not that gray.
Oh, it's pretty gray.
I started going gray when I was 17, so I got.
Unless you chose to go to CSU, Matt.
Fair enough.
I didn't go gray until more recently.
Oof.
I was at CSU a lot longer.
That's true. So then
about 10 years after I moved to Detroit.
National League, if the season ended today, would have Phillies, Dodgers, the top 2 seeds with byes, Brewers playing the Mets, and then the Padres and the Diamondbacks with Padres at home field advantage.
I take the D-backs there. The Padres have a good team, but the Diamondbacks, they won it.
got the pitching too. I mean,
they wanted it last year, and it got them to the World Series.
What was the matchup here?
So it'd be Diamondbacks and Padres. Padres got the home field.
Padres. I mean, they're two of the hottest teams since the All-Star break. But I had the Padres. I think they're a more talented team.
I think the Padres got more on offense for sure. Diamondbacks got a lot of good pitching.
So does San Diego.
So does San Diego. Honestly,
Padres play the Rockies, because when the Padres play the Rockies, they lose.
Yes, they do, and I don't think they got them again.
I think they are done with the Rockies. The Rockies close out with the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers.
Tell me it ain't so. I really love ruining the Padres' day.
So the Padres have the close out the series with the Astros tomorrow. Then they've got the White Sox at home, and then they finish at the Dodgers and at the Diamondbacks. So that Padres Diamondbacks for the last series of the season, for the top wild card spot, most likely, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a great series. And then they got to play the Dodgers, and both the Diamondbacks and the Padres are kind of nipping at the Dodgers. I mean, they could, any one of those teams could win the division. Most likely the Dodgers will, but realistically speaking, the Dodgers will probably win, but weirder shit's happened. So,
and I mean, no one can stay healthy on that pitching staff.
No,
so,
yeah, like they're tossing around the idea of bringing out Shohei to pitch in the playoffs, and you're like, well, I don't know if that's a great idea since he hasn't thrown a pitch all year.
I mean, honestly, like if you're to that point, like, don't do it because you don't think you're gonna win the World Series. If they're not gonna win the World Series, that's their only goal this year.
Yeah,
like who cares if you don't win the World Series if you're the Dodgers right now? But you have Shohei locked up for 9 more years.
Yeah,
do not blow out his recently repaired UCL.
Yeah, don't chase a maybe World Series win this year. Yeah, like get bounced in the second round or whatever. If you make the World Series, great. If not, but like even if you do, like hats off to you. They had a $500 million roster, but 3/4 of them were hurt most of the year. So
yeah,
it's amazing what $500 million can get you, though.
Like that's still twice as big a roster as the Tigers. So
I know, but isn't it amazing what $500 million can buy you?
Well, and our star at every single position.
Yeah, it's insane. And then the Mets and the Braves are. So the Braves are 2 games back of the Mets, and let's see what the Mets have to finish out the season. They have
how Shohei might get some warm-up games against Colorado.
Oh, the Mets are so they got a game, a makeup, or no, they're closing out the series with the Nationals tomorrow. They got a 4-game set at home with the Phillies. Then they go at the Braves, at the Brewers to end it. I like the Braves to make the playoffs over the Mets with that schedule to close out. That sucks.
Yeah, that's some heavy hitters. But I mean, but it's a series with Atlanta that's gonna make it.
Yeah, because them, right? Because Phillies have the division locked up. They have essentially the top seed locked up.
Well, I think they can lose it.
Games back right now.
They can lose it to LA.
Yeah, but at that, I guess that really the only thing that
But you're right. You're right. It's pretty much locked, and it might be locked by that series. And or closer to.
So the Phillies
two
are
two games back.
up.
That's that's close enough that they're not.
Yeah, they're not going to be
taking anything. They're not resting anyone. They're going full steam.
Yeah. So, man, the Mets got a tough road to hoe, but they are 2 games up.
And they're doing good, and the Braves are tanking, and it seems like that team's hurt too. Bad.
And then we got the Cubs 6 games back, and the Cardinals 7 games back. So that's it.
See you, Rob.
Yeah, fuck you, Rob. So it's
fuck Rob. Who's Rob? But
oh, he's our college buddy. You can go ahead and say it. Just fuck.
Oh yeah, well fuck Rob anyway. CSU.
He actually went to law school at Wyoming, so.
Oh hell yeah! They do this after we get interceptions? Oh, they did last year. We haven't gotten any.
Well, Rob, I don't know if Rob followed any of Wyoming sports. He was
diehard.
He's a Chicago diehard. He is the reason why most of my college friends hate Chicago sports. Like I was pretty ambivalent towards Chicago until I met Rob, and now I loathe the Cubs because of him.
I was a little bit dislike on him, and now it's a hate.
Yeah, I honestly was.
Where's he from?
He's Chicago. From north suburb of Chicago. So
he's like he liked the Chicago sports so much that y'all hate them now because of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought maybe
just
so much hate.
Nope.
Rubbed it off on y'all.
No, because that's literally all he would talk about at any point. And
like Tim was San Diego.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if Tim in San Diego hate Wyoming. I'm sure y'all do now.
Tim said
I did before.
Tim sent a picture from the CSU game. It was him and Nick, and I was like, I said, when are Tim and Nick gonna get married? Or when's Tim gonna propose to Nick? 12th time's the charm, you know. our buddy Tim got engaged 3 times before he finally got married?
I forget.
I think Les was the 3rd one, maybe. I'm not for sure, but I think his wife was engagement number 3 or 4. I know he had a solid
I only know
3.
about 1.
See, I might have 2.
Oh well, you were also in the Army, so like you're behind the game.
Behind the game, I've been married, I've been divorced, I've been.
Well, I know, but that's still chump change for
Jesus
a
Christ,
vet.
You calling me old?
Did you also
in college?
Did you also buy a Ford Mustang at 25% interest rate?
No, I bought a Ford F-150 at 3% interest because my dad was with me and he talked the dealership.
There you go, because that's the standard military way.
I hated that. Everybody was like, "Oh, look at my new Audi, look at my new Charger, my new Mustang." I'm like, first off, one of the kids in my team shows up one day with a neon green Mustang with a racing stripe.
Love it.
The battery couldn't stay charged. It guzzled gas. He had an AC leak that like literally flooded his front seats. We're like in the parking lot. We're like they set up a rule: you can't work on your vehicles in the parking lot anymore because we had it up on jacks and we were underneath it. We took the whole dash out and everything. They're like, take it to a shop. And we're like, we can't afford. You don't pay us enough for that. We got some redneck from Arkansas working on it right now. We'll get it running.
Jake, you had that little Toyota pickup that didn't you spray paint it at one point?
Yeah, I did.
Was it a Hilux?
No, it was a Toyota hardbody.
I had a
1991 before they gave names to Toyota
right.
truck.
It was.
Sorry. That's right. I forgot it was the Nissan that was the Nissan hardbody.
Right, that was
91.
Before it was the Frontier.
Yeah,
that was back
but
I had a trucks.
I had a Toyota truck after that.
That's right. Yeah, the Nissan's the one you spray painted though.
Yeah, then immediately crashed.
Yeah, I had the 88 S15, a GMC S15. We like me and Jake had like the battle royale for shittiest pickup of the college friends.
What's wild is that I'm hearing these things. I'm like, man, those are good trucks. Those are nice trucks.
This one was not
converted to the injected heads.
Oh,
well, mine had a 2.8 liter V6, but it had the transmission that was designed for the 4.0 liter V6. So I had a too big of a transmission for a tiny little motor, and even though that thing, like the thing was literally light enough where two of my high school buddies lifted up the back end and put it on cinder blocks, and I still only got like 13 mile a gallon because
that's
just
that Toyota had on 35s.
Yeah.
And it topped out at 55 miles an hour and got about 9 miles per gallon. I go like 150 miles in the tank.
Fuck yeah. And see, there were so many reasons I made ISIS jokes about you, Jake. It's like not only were you brown skinned, you
vehicle. You got to watch out for these trucks. They've usually got Taliban in them.
Yeah,
that truck was sweet.
Oh, it was awesome. I'm not saying it wasn't. It's like every
guy. They don't
guy
have any rocks to go over. That was pretty much like an everyday rock crawler.
Like every guy from around the world that has shot a gun and enjoyed it wants a little jihad truck. Yeah, everybody wants a Toyota Hilux. Why the fuck would you not want one?
Get a 240, spend $250,000 on the 240, $5,000 on the Hilux, and mount it in the bed. Drive around shooting elk at full auto.
Hell yeah. I want a Hilux with a minigun on it. Like the Black Rifle dudes took a Prius and mounted a minigun on it, or a Vulcan cannon, I think, on it. And that was the coolest gay car ever. It was they wrapped it with the Black Rifle graphics and then mounted a fucking minigun on it. I want to have that type of irresponsible money at some point. Like I don't want to be like obscenely wealthy, but I want to have irresponsible money. Like just find some really we're like all my guy friends are gonna be like, oh, that's fucking cool, and then every one of their wives or girlfriends will be like, you're not going over there. You're not. You don't get to play. I want shit like that.
That sounds fun.
I think so. All right. So before we get out of here, predictions for how's the playoff race going to play out, and then World Series picks. So
college football and NFL?
No, just baseball. Just baseball.
Okay, Royals are going to run the table.
Okay. All right. So we got Yankees, Guardians, Astros winning the AL divisions. Baltimore, Kansas City, and the Twins in the wild card spots with Detroit and the Mariners kind of nipping at the heels.
I think Detroit catch man. Streaking, man. I see it.
They're getting hot at the right time. It's that helps.
And Eric, y'all might run the table, but it's starting on Thursday.
Oh shit. Gauntlet's been thrown down. Does Seattle have a chance to make it?
Yes. I mean, I think
they
don't got an easy schedule either. Like everyone's got some teams that they got to get through.
Well, and if you look at the two divisions that we really covered, the AL Central and the NL West, you got three teams in it essentially. In each side, and they play each other at the end. So it's gonna be a dogfight, and I love that. I don't trust the Twins. They've been just kind of meh all year.
Plus, if it goes to 163, they got a long history of losing that game.
That's true. I will say a caveat: if Seattle gets in the playoffs, they're going to be a problem because they got some really fucking good pitching. I don't think they get in though.
That's about it.
Yeah, they got not much for offense.
You can't win a game if you're 0-0.
No, but you can win 1-0.
Oh, okay. You know, speaking of Seattle, bad offense, but Randy Arozarena had the greatest at bat I've seen in 20 years.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So 0-1 steps out of the plate before the ball gets there. Ball. Same thing. Pitch 2, pitch 3. He's 0-3. Just stepped out of the box 3 times. Didn't even think about swinging the bat. Gets a fastball low and inside and just cranks it to the second deck.
No shit. On a 3-0 pitch.
That's, I'll send it to the thread, but that's
pretty
the most
baller.
amazing thing. Yeah.
That is confidence.
It is, yes.
That's knowing your pitch, knowing.
Well, it's tricking the pitcher into throwing you something.
I used to love like Todd Helton was one of the kings of this. Just like foul off 10 pitches and then just rope a double into the gap. Just slap his bat out there, foul it off, foul it off. 10 pitches in a row and then just rope a double.
The last at bat that I was thinking of 20 years ago was Miggy versus Clemens.
I forgot. How many times
ago?
How many times
like
did you?
2003, 2004, and man, that must have gone like 12 pitches at least.
Yeah,
in that bat, finally just bangs a home run off him. Rookie off a 7-time Cy Young.
You got to watch Miggy quite a bit up there in Detroit. That's count yourself lucky. Miggy was awesome. He wasn't ever one of my like favorite players of all time, but like respect one of the greatest hitters of all time. I got to watch Pujols at Coors one time, and I'm so glad I did. I got to see Glavine pitch at Coors. I got to see Tony Gwynn and just like Pujols was on another level. That I think he's the greatest like pure hitter I've ever seen, at least in person. Yeah,
I mean, I got to see a lot of. I didn't go to many baseball games when I was a kid. Got some, but I've seen since probably 2013. I've seen every great player since then.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, that's
what happens when you go 30, 40 games a year.
We used to go to Rockies games on occasion, but that was about it.
I'm going to an Aces game. It's the last game of the season on Sunday.
Ooh, they've been all over SportsCenter tonight. I guess they avoided elimination from the playoffs tonight.
You must be talking about the Vegas Aces.
Is there another Aces?
The Reno Aces is the minor AAA team for the Diamondbacks.
I don't know enough about I know East Coast minor league ball because that's where my cousin got drafted by the Phillies. So
okay.
Well, I would go to the games out there, and in Florida, we go to the games down in Pensacola. After the Sky Sox left, I kind of stopped caring about Western minor league teams.
I don't really, but I like the Aces, and it's a fun little stadium to go to, and then they're the Diamondbacks affiliate, so I've seen some. They've got some good players. The Diamondbacks always have a good farm team, or farm system.
Yeah, that's true. They do.
And yeah, the Aces are fun. Like I saw a full-on brawl the first time I went to an Aces game against Albuquerque, the Isotopes, which but that was before they were the Rockies AAA. That was the Rockies still had the Sky Sox at the time. I forget who
Isotopes. Who was their affiliate?
Springfield Isotopes.
Yeah, the Springfield Isotopes. Don't. I forget who Albuquerque was at the time. I know that the Rockies have them now.
It was Boston.
Maybe I wanted to say the A's, but I don't know for sure.
Shoot. I remember being in Albuquerque and I missed a game, and I thought it was Manny Ramirez was like doing a rehab start there. But maybe it could have been LA then. Maybe
could have been the Dodgers. Yeah, I miss Manny Ramirez. Manny being Manny was some of the best baseball moments ever.
yeah. I mean, it's frustrating, but it's also great.
Right. That's more like a Nikola Jokic. It's Manny Ramirez, a guy that truly didn't give a fuck, but was elite, just elite.
It's like if Anthony Rendon was better at baseball.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, who do you got? Eric, you got the Royals. Who are they going to beat in the series to take it all?
To take it all, who are they in the World Series? I don't think the Dodgers, even with their bye week, are going to be stopped. I think it might end up being, if they don't play Arizona in the divisional, I think it might be an Arizona Dodgers in the ALCS. Can they play in the LCS?
NLCS.
Yeah, that's what I meant. NLCS.
Yes, they can.
Yes, right? Okay. Yeah. So I think Arizona's going to take them to 7, but I think the Royals are going to go up against the Dodgers and they're going to take it all. It's going to come down to Game 7. They're going to shut down Shohei. Shohei's going to come into pitch in the World Series because he's shut down. Vinny Pasquantino is going to get on base. Michael Garcia is going to get on base. We're going to see Salvador Perez get on base with some weird little bloop single that he beats out, even though he's like 280.
I do like Salvador Perez. Salvi is one of my favorites.
And Bobby Witt Jr. is going to get up there, and he's going to hit his 3rd grand slam of the season. He already hit one last night, and how'd that work out? Didn't work. Okay? I get it. All right, we lost 7-4 after Bobby Witt.
Oh, 7-6.
His first grand slam this season, and his 2nd last night. 2 grand slams in one season, and he's not getting the respect he deserves in the MVP conversation. I'm not saying he's the AL MVP, but he's damn close. He's the first 30-30 shortstop, the 3rd best shortstop season ever after Honus Wagner and A-Rod. I mean, that's a great season. I think the Tigers are going to end up edging out Milwaukee. They're not Milwaukee. I'm sorry. I had a little bit of whiskey while we were talking tonight.
But I got my bitch beers, so it's.
I think Minnesota.
I'm doing
those are
high
good,
noon.
Those
I love me some high noons. I like them.
When you drink enough whiskey or enough beer, you have one of those. It's like drinking a water.
It is.
It's as good for you as water.
Well, and you're still a young fella. I gotta keep off the carbs, so that's why I like these seltzers.
That's why I'm just drinking whiskey.
I'm playing like football leagues. I'm getting enough exercise.
I get enough exercise. It adds up. I'm pushing 40 nowadays, so
yeah, my metabolism ain't the same.
I gotta work to stay at dad bod level. Like if I don't work at it, I'm gonna be and I get more exercise than a lot of people on a just average day. So I still I don't mind these seltzers. People can call me gay all they want, but I kind of like them. I do enjoy them. All right, so Jake, who do you got? World Series.
I got the Brewers over Yankees.
Brewers, woo, coming in hot.
Okay, and you're taking the Yankees.
I like it. Yeah, I think the Yankees. I think they got a solid team. And
Yankees is solid.
Best, maybe one of the best 1-2 hitters, and Judge and Soto.
Dude, Juan Soto is so good.
I love Judge, and I know he's better, but Soto's having such an amazing season.
You have to define better. Baseball is such a hard sport to define the best at.
I know,
because
that's why
specialized.
I don't think it's that hard. I think I think it's pretty clear. I mean, he's got by every single metric, he edges him out by just this much.
Yeah,
Even Judge even walks more than Soto, and that's like Soto's whole thing.
That's true. I don't know. I like Soto. Judge is great. Don't get me wrong. But I'm kind of a fan of Soto.
Oh no, me too.
I like that DJ LeMahieu guy.
Not so great.
A big DJ LeMahieu guy.
I
like
LeMahieu.
Good. He's from around Detroit.
Nice.
LeMahieu is.
Yeah.
So who do you got over? Who do you got? Yankees or Brewers?
I got Brewers.
Brewers winning. All right.
Yeah. Why?
All right.
You just talked about how the Yankees have built such a great.
Honestly, I think they have a better. I think the pitching staff on the Brewers is solid and also built for a playoff run, and they have like a pretty good up and down lineup. Maybe not quite as the highs of the some of the teams, but I think their lows are. The floor is pretty high.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but the Brewers don't win in the playoffs, and that's the only argument I'd make to that.
I mean, fine. Also, I just got to say something different,
right? I don't hate, and I'm going to say something different too. But the Brewers have been great all year, so it could happen. I don't trust them in the playoffs. I've got Padres, and I'm gonna go National League. I'm gonna go Padres Guardians for the World Series, and this is a fantasy pick 100%, but I'm gonna go Padres win it all. First championship for the Padres. Probably not gonna happen, but I like that team a lot.
I'd love it. And I mean, if it wasn't the Tigers, the Padres would be my second team that I'd want to win.
They're the least offensive team in the National League West, which is my division. So and my niece has been rooting for them all year. So I've been following the Padres pretty close, and I like them. I like that Jerkson Profar guy. I like Yu Darvish. I've always been kind of a fan of Yu Darvish. Manny Machado is
always good.
Yeah, and then
Tatis is like
Tatis Jr.
Tatis goes from a bad defensive shortstop to a good defensive outfielder. Like nice transition.
I like their chances. Will they make it? I don't know, but that's my picks. I'm taking Padres to win it all over the Guardians. Cleveland gets disappointed one more time, and
I love it.
I'm really looking forward to this playoff run though. This is fun. It's coming down. We got 10 or 11 games left, depending on who you are, and it's going to be fun. We'll see how much has changed next Tuesday, but until then, happy betting and move your ass. We're burning daylight.